perspective. Hope the grandma here getting relaxed now. I don't know.
Yeah, clean my goddamn glasses. A big ass white. Oh, this the white.
Yeah,
for the cleanest seat on the goddamn plane. That's exactly what I need.
we got.
I gotta go make it live. I have to make it public. Hey, y'all come on in.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Be a little slow tonight. Not slow, but definitely this is going to be a very in-depth conversation, y'all. So I'm excited about it.
Welcome to Just Talk Jazz.
I don't know if I can see on my glasses or not, y'all. How y'all doing tonight? Can y'all hear me? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? So this is like the first time ever that I done logged in a couple minutes early. Let's see if I can see through these. Let's try to get some more glasses. Hey, Shonda. How you doing?
How are you? We're doing well.
Drinking lollipop tonight.
And grandma yet?
Darren drinking liquor. I'm drinking wine. I'm gonna have to settle my nerves for this conversation tonight, y'all. I'm excited though. I'm excited. How was y'all's holiday or week off? Some people don't celebrate the holiday.
Hey, how you doing, Mika?
Hey, Mika. Mika, we gotta link up, Mika. We gotta get a phone link soon, Mika. I'm just echoing. Uh-oh.
That thing. Okay, back.
We gotta get a phone link soon, Mika. Y'all already know. Zoe getting ready to log in. I'm gonna have Zoe on here tonight.
And y'all, please don't hesitate to tell us y'all thoughts or if you have any questions.
I don't know if y'all noticed about me or not, but I get kind of a little nervous when it comes to real serious conversations like this. I'm excited though. What y'all doing? What y'all doing? How's y'all holiday? Or not holiday, but whatever it is y'all do. Some of y'all just glad y'all had time off
How
work.
was y'all day off?
I'm just glad I had time off work, which I guess kind of don't matter. I take a lot of time off work. I take a lot of time off work. How's everybody doing? How was y'all Sunday? It's snowing here. Or was it snow? It snowed from like 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock last night until this morning.
No, until like 3.
So as soon as Zoe get logged in,
dang.
Y'all can hear the wind outside. Hey Tiki. Oh yeah. Happy anniversary to my sister Tiki and my brother Jojo. Today is the anniversary. I think it's been 7 years, ain't it, Tiki?
7 years.
Y'all know how I feel about Tiki and Jojo.
Don't you know what today is? It's the anniversary.
I'm fucking it all up. Yes, you did. Saying happy anniversary, my sister. So we're gonna get started in just a few minutes. Ah, you're welcome, sister. Make sure my volume up.
Oh shit.
Hey, Tammy.
Oh, everyone going down.
Baby, don't.
No, I'm just.
We're gonna wait just a few more minutes. I'm trying to wait on Zoe to get in here, y'all. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? We good. We about to sit down. We about to have some grown folk talk tonight. About to have grown folk conversation, y'all, about perspective change. That's why I didn't start talking. I didn't start drinking before the show tonight. I normally do. So by the time I even get on here, I'm so live and hyped up. I got to keep it simmer down tonight. Simmer down tonight.
Good. Just chill. Let me get my drink ready.
Hey, Derek. How you doing? Hey, Kenyatta. We're about to get started. So I'll go ahead and talk about the topic. Waiting on Zoe. she getting her life together. But tonight's topic is gonna be extremely I don't want to use the word serious, but they're very much so in depth. And it's going to basically be about how our individual perspectives change about life and more so about marriage, about infidelity, about parenting. There are a lot of things that I say all the time. My perspective on things change rapidly. Um, and they have changed a lot. Just of course, people change in 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, 5 years. I don't know of very many people who are moving in a progressive manner, positively progressive manner forward in life, who don't have a change of perspective on these things at some point in their life, if not more so of the values in their approach. Let me say that your values surrounding things might not change, but your approach does, such as how you approach parenting, how you approach marriage. What do you think about infidelity? All of those things change. And for me, they've changed a lot. They've changed in 20 years. They've changed in 10 years. They've changed in 5 years. They've changed in 6 months. They've changed in 6 weeks. Okay.
6 hours.
6
minutes.
You never know. So y'all can't hear? Who can't hear? She said they can't hear anything.
Well, he spoke back, so
yeah.
It had to just happen.
Yeah, tell me, is that Juju? Y'all let me know if the volume is jacked up.
Kenyatta said she hear us.
Okay. Tammy, check your volume.
Johnny can't hear me. Okay, there goes Zoe.
There goes Zoe. She'll here getting her life together.
I needed to get my scarf straight, y'all.
Hey, sis.
What's up?
She
What's
got
up, y'all? Yeah,
So I
got
know
you,
you
Joey.
bring Zoe on here to keep up shit because I like for Zoe to get y'all riled up. I'm just playing. I really like Zoe's perspective. Zoe, let that dog stay in the dog. The dog is that that's not it,
That's
is it?
Creed. That's
That's
Creed.
Creed.
He about to get out too.
Okay. Johnny
Okay.
say, hey
I'm
Zoe.
ready
So
though.
how y'all doing?
What's up, y'all? What's up?
So I was just telling them that tonight's show will basically be about how our perspective on life changes, and more so when it comes to marriage, infidelity, and parenting. Those are parenting.
Yeah.
Those are the three topics.
Okay.
What's up, Ricky? I'm about to kick your ass out of here, Ricky. What's up, Ricky? But it is a very I don't want to say sensitive because I don't get sensitive about change because I look at change in this
Yeah.
perspective as something really good and positive. But we're gonna get down and dirty in the nitty gritty about it
Hmm.
tonight. And it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And of course, I love having Zoe on here because Zoe brings a unique perspective. One, because Zoe, contrary to what everybody thinks, Zoe and I are like night and day. Like y'all
Yeah.
be wanting to throw hands at her statuses. I do too sometimes. Except for I'm not like y'all. I'm a realist. And when I see some shit that makes sense, I just keep it moving. Like, oh, that agree. I agree with it, but I ain't gonna change what the fuck I'm doing. So let me just keep on. I wish some of y'all would learn how to do that. But that's what it is. I really love Zoe's perspective. And I brought Darren on tonight, and it was a back and forth between me and Darren tonight about did we want to bring him on tonight because we are talking about some things that are very serious, very near and dear to our relationship,
Right.
such as our perspectives on all of these things. But at the end of the day, what I like is that although Darren and I are one because we are married, we are two different people. We have two
Hmm.
different perspectives, and we have grown to think about these things on our own pace.
Hmm.
We think and we think completely different. I'm trying to get this camera right. We think completely different about things at some point. Even
Right.
if our values are the same, our approach is normally different, which is
Totally.
why marriage can be difficult, which is why parenting in a marriage or
Difficult.
co-parenting can be
Yeah.
difficult because no two people are alike. And to be honest, I don't want to be, I want us to function well enough to where we balance each other out and we can achieve a common goal that we have, such as
Right.
raising our children, nurturing our children, building our home, building our wealth, building whatever it is, building our marriage, building the love
Yeah.
between us. But ultimately, I like the fact that we have different perspectives. That is what makes us different. So what we're going to do is we're going to get right on into it, guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I really appreciate it. I would say this: come with your questions, come with your comments, whatever. This and let me do this disclaimer. This is a this show is about my perspective and my experiences as to how they relate to my perspective. Not necessarily about my marriage, not necessarily about my how I my kids, my overall life. This was about my perspective and the experiences that have molded my current perspective. And let me just be honest and say this shit could change tomorrow. Okay. We are talking about me. I wake up every day and I'm exposed to something different, or you're exposed to people who have different experiences and different levels of knowledge that shape and change your perspective as well. Or even if it don't change your perspective, it gives you more to think about. So
Right.
we're gonna dive right into it. We're gonna hop on this on the hot topic. We're gonna hop on marriage. We're gonna try to do this thing in order. I think we're gonna go with marriage, parenting, infidelity. Let's hit it like that. We're gonna say
Say
the
the best for
infidelity. We're
last.
gonna say the best for last. Let's say the best for last.
And also, this is a perspective. This is not just perspective. This is not just a May perspective.
This is not Billie Holiday perspective. This is true Jessica perspective. Because with Jessica and Billie Holiday wouldn't be having this show right here. This would be a whole different. I had my dad on here, Billie Holiday or Jessica. Jesse. They was doing this show. Okay, so we're gonna start off with marriage. Zoe, let's talk. We talk about this often because it ties into everything. But how has your perspective on marriage changed from 10, 15? And you're like me. This is not your first marriage.
Yeah.
This is your second marriage, and
Yeah.
you're like your last marriage.
Yeah.
Speaking for my brother.
Say that again. Say that again.
So let's
Yeah.
let's talk. Let's talk about
Um.
how things change.
Um. Well, marriage. Marriage originally for me always was a it was a biblical foundation. It was for me. It was always, this is just something that you do as. Can y'all hear me good? Yeah. Okay. It was just always something that you do um as a righteousness. You know what I'm saying? You know, um, but I over the last 15, 20 years, I've come to understand that I had no freaking clue what biblical marriage really was. And so, whereas, I got married young, 19. There was a little bit about why I was late. So y'all have to excuse me. I'm just gonna be raw. I'm kind of seething pissed at the moment. Um, and partially because I married young and I married unequally yoked. And so, almost 18 years later, they're still biting me in the tail because it was not a biblical marriage. And so, from that standpoint, at being 19, I knew. So, I'm gonna tell y'all, like at 9 years old, it's crazy because my son is 9, but literally at 9 years old, I was like, when I'm in my 20s, I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna have my kids, and when I get in my 30s, I'm gonna write my books and travel the world. Well, I did that. I got married before either right at 20 or 19 or something like that. And I had 3 kids before I was 30. And when I wrote my first book, I was hitting 30 and I started traveling. So I did that, self-fulfilling prophecy in a sense. But the marriage aspect, I didn't know how to be a wife. I didn't know what to look for in a husband. When I met the guy that fathered 2/3 of my children, um, I was like, okay, he's light skinned, he's tall, he likes basketball, it was all these shallow things. And part of me, come on, part of me was like, oh, he ain't saved, but he'll get there, God, you can do that. Shallow, very shallow. um, Now I understand that, and we talked about this on a previous show. I understand that I should not have been my vetting for my husband. I should have been under a covering according to biblical standards. I should have been under a covering. I should have had men in my life that vetted for my husband, and I should have known that being a biblical wife meant really becoming a man's property. And we don't want to look at it like that, but men seem to have this innate stance on their wives. They take your last name, they own you, and they really do treat you like they own you because from my perspective, how men have been designed, that's something that's just it's there, like it's natural, right? And so marriage for me now, that's why when she say this is my last marriage, it is, unless he dies, which I'm not claiming that, but unless he dies, and according to biblical marriage, if he dies, and if I haven't born him a son at that point, his brother is supposed to marry me so that I can raise a son up in his name. No, that's not going to happen because his brother is not in the culture that we live in. So um marriage for me has changed a lot. I understand my role as a wife now more. I understand the biblical stances of a wife. I understand, and I will disclaim and say this transition didn't just start with this marriage. My ex, I married twice. The first time I was horrible. I'll admit that I was like a horrible wife from a biblical standpoint. But the second time, I sat down and I said, "Well, Lord, I need you to show me what does a wife look like to you." And as the Most High really started training me on being a wife, I realized, man, this is kind of for the birds, especially for somebody that I'm not really equally yoked with. It's hard to be married, but it's even harder to be married to someone who you have completely different beliefs on, from raising kids to the route that you want to take them. Like one of our biggest things, now I'm just gonna be transparent, is the fact that I homeschool. So the fact that I homeschool, because I homeschool, but yet this was something that we both knew that I wanted to do. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I wanted to homeschool my kids. And so the battles that we fight are mainly because, not necessarily because we were young, not necessarily because of it, but we were two unequally yoked individuals trying to merge lifestyles and thoughts and things like that together that never was never was gonna work. So
Mhm.
marriages, I've definitely learned. And so my stance now is whatever lines up with the word. whatever lines up with the word. And I'm not going to veer from that, as a Bible believer, as a speaker, as an influencer, as whatever, I teach this, I speak on it, I stand on it. Even in my days now where I'm like, I want to pop out. No, First Peter. Okay, no, not gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So it's a challenge. It's easier because my husband now is a man of God, and he is, I mean, the prayers I pray are like, it's like, God, hear me, go to him. I mean, it's way more smoother. But the way that I look at marriage now is, a lot of us don't know what we're doing, and I can say I did not know what I was doing. And so marriage for me now is, it's about covenant. It's about building a tribe. You know,
Mm.
it's about leaving something substantial on this earth. It's not just so I can be romanced and have, this and that or whatever. It's literally about building this man's legacy, and I had no clue that was that was what this was. It's really about me helping him build the vision and the purpose that God has placed in his loins. And at 19, 20, now I'm thinking, I want to be married. My mama was like, I'm tired of taking care of you, so all types of wrong reasons, but now it's like, yeah, this is about legacy, this is about building his legacy, period, you know. Did I ramble?
No, I'm like really in here just listening to you because
Yeah,
what you're describing is exactly what I think a lot of our approaches are when we start off. Hey, when we start getting married at a young age or at any
yeah,
age, to be honest, because
yeah,
age may play a part in it, but you have people marrying and unaware of the we should be equally yoked. We should be properly
hmm,
vetting each other. We should be
yeah.
asking these questions, having these conversations before we get married. And so, Darren, do you want to go next? Or
Like, I'm just listening right now.
okay. So for me, okay, like Zoe, I got married. I got married when I was 20. Was I 20? Yeah, I was 20 because when I went to Vegas, I gambled in a casino and I was not old enough, but I did it anyway. So I got married when I was 20. And I will say that for the most part, the majority of my life, I have always been a relationship kind of person, but for a more philosophical reason than anything, than spiritual. I didn't honestly gain any spiritual bearings about marriage until over the last couple of years, just to be honest. Um, I would say that my first marriage was not a marriage of convenience. We married because we had a baby. Um, and I think that's why when it ended, I was not distraught. Anyone who knew me at that time, such as Tiki on here, a couple of my friends who I was really close to at the time, Zoe Cameron just took her off. She'll come back in. But at the time that I married my first husband, it was kind of like everybody around me almost who was married was telling me, okay, you need to get married. You all have a child, you need to get married. And I was like, okay, well, he a good provider. He make good money, whatever. He in the military, he got a nice rank. He been a nice person to me. So up until that point, I had no reason to feel like marrying him wouldn't be a bad idea. Even though there was a lack of being in love, my first marriage, I would say that. But I do think that my thought on that was give my son the chance at having a family. Like most people, I didn't think about are we equally yoked. We didn't talk about parenting. We didn't talk about where do we see ourselves. This man was 21 years older than me. Okay. Um, I just basically looked at the fact that I was married to someone who was a good provider, who was a good father at the time. And it's just like fuck the rest. I'm gonna just be honest. It was just like fuck the rest. Um, and my approach was, like I said, very much more so of a philosophical approach. You get married to the person you have a child by, and you hope it works. I'm just be honest. Like when I used to recruit, we used to have this saying, y'all just taking anybody down there, throwing shit up against the wall and hoping it's sick. That's what it was on marriage. That was my honest perspective with that marriage. I just threw some shit up against the wall and hope that motherfucker worked out. So when it failed, I was not surprised. And the reason it failed, one, because I don't think that love is number one in a marriage. Let me say that. Let me say that. I'm not that person. I don't think love, and I've never thought love was enough for a person, for a marriage, for a relationship at all to survive. Which is why when I got married at that time, the fact that I loved him, but I was not in love with him, did not bother me. Because I was like, fuck it. We can have love, but if we ain't got the finances, all the rest of the shit, it don't matter anyway. What I did not consider was the fact that we were still very much so unequally. Yo, you cut me up, Zoe. Let's go.
I just want to interject and say this is the truth about biblical marriage is biblically they didn't marry for love.
They didn't
It
marry
was
for
an
love.
arrangement.
Outside of biblically, outside of, and this is something that I've always understood too. Never in my life past the age of 16. And I don't know if this more so probably had to do with my dad, because I watched my grandparents be married, be in love, be whatever. Whatever I'm aware of now with my grandparents, I was not aware of 15, 20 years ago. Okay. So with the example that I had, they were in love, they got married, they had a baby. I was not aware of all of the other things that go into play. My daddy set that shit on the table for me, what it was really about. He used to say, find you somebody that you could build and get some shit with, and that's who the fuck you stick with. On some real shit. That is what it was. So for me, it was kind of like, I ain't in love with him. I love him. I care about him. We got the child, but it was kind of on some, I had broke up with him anyway while I was pregnant. And cool if we do, cool if we don't, but you got the money. So, hey, I'm just keeping it a G. I'm keeping it a buck. Okay, so it's kind of like I've never thought that love was enough for marriage. Never in my life. What I've always thought about marriage is what is to be true about marriage. Never in the history of mankind did marriage start off being about love. I say this all the time. People get offended, but I'm speaking facts. It's history. Marriage became a thing because kings and queens were trying to get bigger kingdoms.
Be a dynasty.
They were building kingdoms and building dynasties, and that's why they married their cousins. If love was ever about love, if marriage was ever about love, them motherfuckers wouldn't have been marrying their first cousins. Love was about let's one powerful family marry another powerful family so we could get some shit, and so we could keep some shit. And one of the biggest shit was riches and power.
Bigger, stronger arms.
Yeah. Hold on, you gonna let this be my goal? Because I also let this be your goal, sir.
I do it.
Sir.
Oh, I'm ready.
Now you're ready. Now you're ready because I'm talking about shit. But so I never in my life felt like, especially to the point when I was 17 years old, because at 16, 17, every relationship I was in was with a much older man. It was always transactional. Let me be honest. A lot of people don't want to be honest to say this. It was transactional. If my feelings got involved, cool. If they didn't, that was the norm. Because I had a daddy telling me, this ain't that. This is not that. And I just always felt like, let me get in a relationship to create stability. Let two people get together. It was not until I met Darren, that love even became a factor in shit for me. And this is just being honest. Never in my life, up until the point where I met my husband, was love even a factor. You know why? Because in every relationship I had before him, I cheated. Hands down. Cheating was a sport for me. Because it's not about love. It's about let two people come together and let us get as much shit as we can together. Okay? Other than with my son, let me have a family for my son. But it was never about what a lot of people think it is, romance. If you treat me nice, all I want a motherfucker to do was treat me nice, pay the bills, handle business the way they're supposed to be, because I'm a very business-minded person. My man got to be able to handle business. That's the issue for me if you can't. We're going to argue 24/7. And motherfucker, let's make sure. I mean, even in my first marriage, sex was existent, but it was not a thing. Because I never felt like that's what I had to be married for. We were a couple and we were getting shit. It's just what it was. Now our perspective has changed to the point where love has to be there for me. But it's still not number one on my list. All those other things that you discussed. How are we going to parent? How do we approach finances? How do we approach buying property? Do we buy property? What those are the things that are number one. I always say this: marriage is a business, and hopefully your business partner is somebody you love. But at the same time, the minute I am no longer in love with my business partner because I know what it feels like, I cannot be in business with him anymore. That is the flip side to that for me. A lot of people can, I can't. 10 years ago, I could. 12, not 10 years ago, 12, 13, 14 years ago, 15 years ago, I could. Now I cannot. Now my business partner got to be my love, got to be my best friend, got to be all those things. But still, I like the romance. I'm cool without it. But it's easy for me to say it when I get that. I'm married to a naturally chivalrous man. But like Ashley Brady said, she said marriage is about success of your family. Marriage, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. We love to make marriage about love. We like a biblical marriage is about love. Where in the Bible was a marriage based on love? When motherfuckers was just selling their daughters and doing what they want to do. And let me say this disclaimer: by no means am I religious. So when Zoe speaks on her, she is completely different than me. I have no sayings. The only thing I believe wholeheartedly in the Bible, you should be equally yoked when it comes to marriage. You should be equally yoked. But no example that we get in a marriage about marriage in the Bible says it was based on love. Where do we get that? You had women marrying because they needed somewhere to live. Everybody around them got killed. They needed to go be somebody's concubine. They needed to go be in somebody's house. They needed to be covered. Marriage was about a woman being protected from the rest of the world. Marriage was about building your home. Marriage was about having a birthright for your children.
Yeah.
And this is where a lot of women get lost. I'm not one of those ones to just preach marriage, but at this point, do I understand that marriage is the foundation of wealth? Absolutely. Marriage is the foundation of wealth. That's why everything in this country is tied to marriage. Social Security tied to marriage. Who the fuck was this man or woman married to when they died? Retirement tied to marriage. That's why when I got to pull my retirement down when I retired last year after the military, this motherfucker's signature had to be on the paperwork. That's why now he's eligible to get half of everything I got. I'm eligible to get half of everything he got. Everything in this country is tied to marriage.
Well, those things you got 10 more years, not my
girl. So I'm just keeping it real. You know, marriage for me at this point is about what is the legacy that we leaving for our sons. But I will say this again. At this point, the minute there's no love in my marriage, I cannot be married anymore. I can't do it because I know what it feels like. And even then, with the logic that I have, with the philosophy on marriage and life that I have, I'm a human. And because I know what that feels like, because I know what it feels like to be madly in love while you're married, and we still putting in our marriage, we absolutely love each other, but business come first. Because when the business fucked up, we arguing. It's easy to be in love when the business right, when the money flowing right. So that's my approach. My approach definitely has changed over the years to marriage, and I definitely think being equally yoked is a thing now.
All right. Now let me go with my soft ass reason for marriage. Unlike my significant other, my wife, I believe a couple years ago, almost 13 years ago, that you had to be in love with the person. And the reason why that, because I couldn't see myself with anyone if I didn't feel no type of way for them or wanted to be or anything with them. If I wanted a booty call or somebody just to have sex with, I could have did that.
I tried to be that.
Yeah, and then look what happened.
I tried to be a booty call for a motherfucker now. Let's keep it 1,000.
Yeah, and then I got it, then you moved me in. But I felt that love was the end all be all. Because unlike her, that's how I was raised. And that's what I thought the meaning of marriage was. You find somebody that you care about, that you love, and then you get with them, and then y'all build. Then over time, that kind of shifted. I I quickly found out that love was not really enough. I had to have somebody that I could build with, or build a foundation with, other than love. That's financially and spiritually. And even though we go through all the phases as far as spirituality, I think our core is almost the same.
Spiritually, we're the same. Religiously, not so, but spiritually, definitely so.
So, but originally, I thought love was everything. I love her. We've been together for this long, this amount of time. Oh, it's time to get married now.
He was like that. We was together 8 months before you proposed, and then we got married. We weren't supposed to get married till 2013. We ended up getting married the next year in 2012. So we was together
We'll get for
barely
that.
18 months before we got married.
But the reason why that happened because
I got in a bad truck accident.
I ain't gonna say God intervened in that, but
You did, more than likely.
we're gonna say that. So love was everything
And it's not.
originally.
Yeah. But it's not now.
No,
It's not now.
no, God, I can't stand you have a no.
We really can't. We
You,
really
you know what? This is something, and I think we all three of us could agree. When it comes to marriage, I have learned, and just I we both have the foundation of being able to judge this marriage that we're in now, based, and compare it to the other marriage
except for
that,
him because he's never been married
Yeah.
before. He's
well,
the one that done her.
me and you,
No,
He
but
struck gold his first go
um,
round.
but loyalty, and it's something that I remember you really broke this down in the status, and we had to have a conversation about it because it kind of hit me in the face. But and it's something that I can say that I see with my now husband that I definitely didn't see and still don't see, with the father of my children, um loyalty, because you can love me all day long, but I pay attention to, and I've always been this way, I pay attention to how people treat me when they're mad at me, or when they, are offended by me, or you know what I'm saying? It's
you said
certain
it enough
things that you
already.
shouldn't do, when you say that you love a person, but that's why love is not enough. You have to have a form of loyalty. I can say because I am loyal, I ain't going nowhere. I can say because I am loyal, there are certain things that I refuse to do. There are certain ways that I refuse to talk to my husband because I am loyal to him, and I am loyal to being the type of wife that I believe that the Most High has called me to be. Love is not enough because people's I people's idea of love don't always match. People's idea of love don't, for me, I would think that if you love me, you wouldn't do certain things to me. So I don't think that it's just not enough. Are you loyal to me as a person? Are you loyal to me? Are you loyal to this establishment that we're building? Are you loyal to our family? To the point that where no matter what, there are just certain things that you're not going to do that's going to tear this family down, or tear our kids down, or tear, you know what I'm saying? Because we're loyal. So, we're working on this series, probably by nature, but one of the taglines of Probably by Nature is romance is for Romans. If you really study romance, that wasn't no stuff that we just, I mean, that's no, like this
And
comes from
who
all
are
the
they
Cinderella
romancing?
crap, and
Who are
They,
they romancing? The
they're
little
romance
boy.
other dudes.
They romancing the little boy.
you see what I'm saying? So we gonna really keep it real on this series, like romance is for Romans. That's not
I'm
even,
excited.
you know.
I'm excited for it. But
But
you're right.
yeah, that's
We did. We had that in-depth thing, and this is what I talk about all the time. For us, loyalty is a big thing because I am loyal to fuck love. Fuck love. And I'm not, when I say that, I mean that in the least disrespectful way. But you notice and this is why you said that, that's my philosophy. I don't give a fuck about love if there's no loyalty. A lot of people have said they love me, but love plays on your emotions. Loyalty plays on your logic. Loyalty is just, it is what it is. And this goes from my marriage to any relationship that I have, even with Zoe. I love Zoe, but Zoe beat me in the fucking face with her statuses. I wouldn't fuck with Zoe no more. I'm loyal to the fact of who Zoe is, and I believe in where she's going. I am loyal to the fact of who my husband is and where he's going, even when I don't feel like it's beneficial to me. Because I know that whoever he becomes and whatever he gathers in his life and whatever good he is and whatever good that comes to him magnifies when it comes down to my family. My family benefits for it. My family benefits from it. So loyalty has taken us some places that love would have fucking caused us, because we all know people don't like to be honest about this, but love is an emotional roller coaster. And being in love is the biggest roller coaster ever, because you go through cycles of being in love and out of love. And any human that say that's not true, that's why you can go through periods where one day, like me and Darren, we've been in this phase for a couple of months. We've been in this phase for a couple months where we all up under each other. Like a motherfucker right now, you shit out of luck if you need us right now, because we are all up under each other. That's because we are in our peak season. But we get in those seasons where we're not the center of each other's focus other than our business. We go through periods where we love each other, but we're not madly in love. So he able to do him, I do me. We go about our business. And what I mean by it is we focus on work. I don't have to be up under him 24/7. Right now, we up under each other 24/7. Right now, everything I do, baby, you want to do a date? Baby, you want to do a date?
Baby, lay back down.
Yeah, baby, I don't even want to motherfucker got to bed right now.
Go. I don't even want to go to work.
But that's a cycle. That's a cycle that has its peak and low season. Loyalty is what has kept us in this marriage.
And to speak on that, speak on loyalty. Me and Jess had this conversation in 2018 when she was across seas.
Oh, that was a hell year.
And we were like, well, we had to sit down. We had to talk to each other, because a question that we asked each other: what do we really want out of our marriage? Do we want love or do we want loyalty? And then I thought about it. I was like, shit, I want love. Fuck.
Yeah, we was into it bad because he want love and I want loyalty. He was raised on love. I wasn't.
But then after we broke it down, it was like, if I give you love, there's a chance for you to still hurt me. But if I give you my loyalty, I won't break your heart, or I won't break your trust, because I'm loyal to the fact that we're gonna do this and we're gonna make this happen.
And even if you do break my heart,
I know you still right there.
I still got your back no matter what. See, love will have you not having a motherfucker back when your heart broke. Loyalty is the only thing that keep you having a motherfucker back when you're mad, when your heart broken, when your love plays on your emotion. Loyalty plays on your logic, and it makes you weigh the pros and the cons of any situation around you.
And then also, if you give a person loyalty, that's a form of love within itself. So you still getting love, you just getting a different type of love.
Because I would say 2018 was our
hell year.
That was our hell year. We renewed our vows in 2017 just to fuck it all. November, we didn't renew during our actual anniversary. We renewed, our anniversary is August 17th. We renewed November 17th of 2017.
So like almost a month before you.
A month before I got ready to deploy. We renewed because I was getting ready to deploy. Just for me to go in that deployment, I was in. We did the most that year. We're gonna leave it.
We're just gonna say that year don't count.
That year don't count. That year don't fucking count. A lot of people, y'all can do what y'all want to do. We even make shit look perfect. That year, 2018, we've been married 11 years, but we technically been married 10 Because 2018 don't fucking count. It don't count. We're gonna leave it at that. It don't count. But loyalty kept us in this marriage. Loyalty made me get on a plane when his sister died to fly from Kuwait. Loyalty made him stay here with not only our child that we had together, but my son that he's been his dad for almost all of his life except the first year. Loyalty made him say, no matter what me and her going through, I'm gonna take care of these kids. Loyalty made him stay back in us, keep putting it to our house, even we was in two different worlds doing the fucking most. Let me say that. Love.
I wasn't doing the most. I was a good guy.
I'm a person of reciprocation. Let me just say that.
As a word of an old wise man, money bag yo, I'm a reflection of you, babe.
And I was a reflection of you. But we were some motherfuckers. We're gonna keep it one. But it's the real. It's what people don't like to talk about. And we had to sit down. Only loyalty made us stay married into 2019. 2018 with a 2019 coming. I'm gonna say by April 2019, we could have been looking at divorce. It was never on the table. It was never on the table because we allowed each other to be human. We accepted it for what it was. And at one point, we looked at each other and said, okay, with all this bullshit, we done put each other through this last 16 months. Because from the time I left the motherfucking state of Mississippi, it was go mode for me. I was deployed. I was off in my own world, and he was home. His sister and my brother-in-law died. I mean, it was death before the deployment. I had a sister-in-law get killed before I deployed. It was just a lot. It was a lot. And we were not close enough to each other. There's the love one. I don't give a fuck what motherfuckers say. Love don't travel distances. Loyalty does. I'm in the Middle East. He here. Even when he came out to Texas, before I was moving, we was into it the whole while we was out there. Because in my mind, we get ready to be separated for a year. Fuck you. Like we literally were separated. But loyalty kept us paying the bills at the house. Loyalty kept us working together. Loyalty made me, when my sister and brother-in-law died, get on a fucking plane and fly 18 hours home to be by my husband. Knowing I'm about to go back to Kuwait and continue doing the most. And when I get back home, and he about to be here continuously doing the fucking most. Loyalty took us places that love could have never taken us in our marriage. And a lot of people don't understand it. And we had a conversation, I want to say in April 2019, when the shit really just hit the fan. Because 2018 was the crazy year. 2019
was the readjustment.
Yeah, I had been off, and it was like that's when all the shit started. That's when all the shit that we did in 2018 started coming to the fucking surface. And it was kind of like we had the in-depth, like crazy ass, no hollering, no screaming conversation. Like 1 o'clock in the morning? It could have got crazy. 1 o'clock in the morning, we looked at each other.
It started at 1.
It started at 1 o'clock in the morning. We probably talked to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, okay, we're upset because both of us got our feelings a little hurt right now. Both our feelings a little hurt right now. Our emotions are into play. But over this last year, look at what we've been to each other. Fuck all the rest of that in love, romantic, faithful bullshit. What have we been to each other? The real question was, did I show up for you when you needed me? That's why we're sitting here married right now, because it's always gone back to, did I show up when you needed me? See, a lot of people say they love you. A lot of people might not even cheat on you, but are they there for you when you need them?
When you need them the most, they're going to be right beside you. When you're ready to go to war with anybody, is that person going to be right beside you?
And that's us. We always been willing to go. You know what it is? No matter what, we've always chosen each other first. We've always put each other first.
Now, when I speak about the 2018 year, no matter what I was doing or who I was doing it with, it just was one person that I gave my loyalty to. Oh, should we good?
We good. That's Zoe. Yeah, we good.
It was one person I gave my loyalty to, and that was her. Whenever she called and she needed me to do something, okay, baby, I'm on it. If I had to go pick up a refrigerator with no truck, okay, babe, Just to let me know where to go. Shit, I'll walk with the motherfucker, which I had to.
And that was our thought on this. I remember calling home from overseas one time, telling him, I don't give a fuck. In these words, I mean this. You remember this conversation? I don't give a fuck if you knee deep in some pussy when I call my ass overseas. When I call motherfucker, tell that bitch to be quiet and I need you to answer the phone and do what the fuck you need. I need you to get done. Because all the rest of that bullshit don't matter. A lot of people don't look at it like that. That's what it was to me. Fuck all this other shit and what you got going on. Do you show up for me when I need you? And I would say even at 16, 17, 20, 25 years old, when I still kind of understood that love wasn't about marriage, if some shit would have made me flip the fuck out on your ass. Now, I never was the kind of person, we'll talk about this later when we get to the infidelity part. I never was the kind of person for infidelity to be enough for me to leave you. I'm sorry, I ain't never been that kind of woman. Because my dad used to always say, you're going to leave one motherfucker that cheat for another motherfucker that cheat, beat your ass, and don't pay no bills. My daddy used to say that all the time.
And then, on the other hand, I am that type of person.
Mm-hmm. He is that type of person.
Because to speak on what Zoe was talking earlier, as a man feel like a woman is his possession. So if he feel like that, another guy conquer his possession, it's on. No, even though we know y'all not our slave and y'all not our possession, if we have sex, you tell me that that's my pussy. Okay, that means you won't need to get nobody else. That's mine. We are like little kids then. So if y'all guys ever got to that point, you should never told me it was his.
We should never say it's yours. Who we supposed to say it?
Don't tell me it's mine. You better say,
You better be sick. Hey, so let me go back and read some of the comments. Zoe, come off mute, Zoe. So we got
I got these dogs in the background.
At this point, marriage is a form of monetary gain. No love, no for the kids, no wants to take it slow. Now I'm gonna say this, Donna. I absolutely agree with you. But I feel like it's the most practical form of monetary gain. But if you get married to gain wealth, that's another problem in itself. Because I think when you get married, although I don't think love is number one, partnership. So all those things you're talking about, you're right. And nobody want to take their time. And the reason nobody take their time now is because they don't even understand vetting. To be honest, when me and my husband got married, we didn't properly vet it. Because at that point, I was like, oh my God, I love this motherfucker.
But we did have certain conversations.
We did have certain conversations where we laid certain ground rules. But just over the past year, did we really properly, like a lot of the issues we went through is because we didn't properly vet each other, simply put. So I absolutely agree with you. For us, everything for us is about our children, about our grandchildren. Like I told my husband the other day, this is how I know that we are so far deep into this and how I really feel about you on an emotional level, because I look forward to being a grandparent with you. When you look forward to being a grandparent with somebody, that's a whole different level. Being a parent, that's a lot. But being a grandparent with somebody, because naturally when our grandkids come along, whatever mistakes we made with our children, we don't want to make those mistakes with our grandkids, which means I see me and you 20 years down the line, hopefully no less than 15 years down the line, which means I see me and you putting in that work to get to that point, to have the most stable relationship, to create the most stable environment to nurture our grandkids in. That's what it is for me and him. It's building a foundation for our children and more so for our grandchildren. Because it's easy for me to look one generation and say, I got it right. You don't know if you really got it right until a couple of generations down the line said. That's when you know you really got it right. When you know, when my grandkids come to this world, they good.
Or how do you say, like Jamie Foxx said, we're going to show our kids and they're going to tell their kids.
That's it.
What mom and daddy did.
That's it. We want our grandkids to be able to see it. So let me. So Margaret said, I'm so glad
that I
I'm so glad I tuned in. I now have a different look at marriage because I sure stick it has to be love. I wouldn't marry if it ain't no love.
It gotta be some type of love there.
But we ain't gonna get off into the poly topic. But if you're poly, you ain't gotta love everybody. Everybody play their own role. As long as everybody understood. Come on, Zoe.
Cause see,
I know she ready.
She had that usher for
cause see where I am now. Cause this poly journey, we talked about that 2 weeks ago. So I'm not gonna get far into it. But when I think about marriage now and me understanding marriage too, and I let my husband know, I was like, whatever kind of woman come in this household is fine with me because it is what it is. As long as there's some contracts and some NDAs, which I don't mind drawing up myself, it can be what it's gonna be. If you just need to come over here and it's a contractual deal, you do what you do, you get what you get. He just, has what he has with you. That's fine. Do we have an NDA in place? Because them emotions, you get in your feelings and then you want to go and, what I'm saying? And do we have a contract in place so that you don't feel like you're entitled to everything that I've been working with him for the last 7 years? So, and polygyny, and that is why it goes, for me, it goes back to understanding biblical marriage, because in polygyny, it was just about understanding your role as a woman in this man's household and what you're bringing to the table, which 9 times out of 10 was helping him build his household and bearing him sons. That was the major thing. Have this man some sons so that he continued to build his lineage and his legacy, to build his kingdom, his dynasty, his tribe, all that good stuff. So I wouldn't necessarily say at this point for me, love is a requirement for any woman that comes into my husband's household, because I think and bro, you can, put your manism on this. I think for men it's really, really, women, we quick to fall in, most of us raised in love because everybody ain't quick as a woman to fall in love. But most of us as women, we were raised on this idea of romance and being swept off our feet and all that. Men are not as so. Like, sex for men don't necessarily mean I love you, but you got some good sex and I'll sex you, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna die for you. You know what I'm saying? So every woman that comes into the household may not be a woman where you develop a relationship with him like I have a relationship with him. The man was single 5 years before I even got with him. So for him to, realistically, for my husband to find somebody that he loves, 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 I don't know, because I'm just being realistic. But if you're looking for a covering, you're looking to build something, you got a good head on your shoulder, you can come under the his dominion and his vision for his household, then yeah, you're more than welcome to do that with an NDA and a contract. We can work on the love later, as we
And see,
build,
that's
as
what I
we,
mean. For
yeah,
me and him,
you know,
love is the thing between me and him because we've had it, and I'm no longer willing to. I can't go from how me and him feel about each other to there being no love existing between us. Definitely, because he was finna get started on this bullshit.
Okay. To pick it back off you. No, I don't care how good your sex is. That is not enough. A man, honestly, can have sex with a woman and it just be about sex. Like Jessica said earlier, when I first met her, we got together. I supposed been a booty call or a one night stand, but then that didn't work how she played. But on a serious note, you got to bring more than sex to the table. Mm-hmm. When I fell for Jess, it wasn't because of her sex. It was the little thing that she was doing that made me appreciate what she was doing, because I never had that treatment. not for real, for
And you married a motherfucking go-getter.
real.
He married a go-getter.
I didn't have that treatment, so it was the action that she displayed that made me fall for her, and the reason why I stuck around as long as I did.
It's sometimes you want to leave my motherfucking ass.
I was like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah.
He want to get down on my ass, but let me tell you this. I know men who marry every woman but the woman he loves. I'm friends with more men. I talk to more men on an in-depth level than I do women. And most of the men that I married women not that they were madly in love with. They married women that they could build with. And I'm not saying that they don't love the woman that they with. That is not what I'm saying. But I've met men who, no matter how much they love their woman, they would not marry her because the kind of life that they saw for themselves, they cannot see it with that particular woman.
And let me give an example for that. Before I met Jess, I never been married, but I was in what I call a somewhat serious relationship. That there was talk about marriage, but we never crossed that path. When I met Jess, I just came back to Mississippi. Shit, I ain't have a pot to piss in. But because I left everything where I was. I came back with 2 jobs. I met her. She just moved in her apartment. And we were together, 2 months before we got our first house?
We was here about 3 months and then we moved. May or June, we got our house.
Cool. Because we had to wait till the house to get done.
So we was together 2 months before we started really.
So
the love was there, but the getting some shit together, the building was real quick for us. We quickly realized that if we stay on the same foot, we finna go someplace. We're about to go some places together.
Yeah, even though sometimes she moved faster than I moved. But at the end of the day, we both had the same goal at hand to build our legacy and get our foundation stable.
And it's balanced because I've always been a strategist and he's always been the one willing to get the plan and go with it.
Yeah, she the general. Like they said, you can't have 100 generals and not enough soldiers. So we strategized. She come up with her planning, and she let me know what it is. All right, baby, that's all I need to know.
But let me say this, with respect to his position as my husband, it ain't never, even though that's how we function as a married couple, I respect my husband no better. Yep, that's business. But I respect his position as my husband. So yeah, I'm the strategist. I'm the strategist on everything that we do and always have been. But that's with respect to my husband. So I could stay on this all night. I could stay on this one part all night. We're gonna tally on along because this gets really deep for us because these are conversations that we have. Oh, I'm sorry. Donald said there's different levels of love as time goes on. Levels unlock in a sense. I can't jump out there loving a person 100%. Wouldn't care if we was in a relationship 2 to 3 years. It's the love finds you. You can't force yourself to love anyone. I agree. That's why all the other things got to be a factor. Because women move fast in their emotions, and men, it's like the big wheel to the little wheel thing that people don't understand the ratio. The men is the big wheel. The woman is the little wheel, so we have more rotations compared to this man's one rotation. So by the time we went through 1,000 feelings, 1,000 emotions, 1,000 scenarios in our head, the man is still rolling on his first scenario. He's still finally getting into trying to even understand his emotions for you, whereas we far along and now we pissed the fuck off. That's why love ain't enough, because most of the time it ain't the same between a man and a woman. No way. It's just not.
And to get on my geek side, is just like comparing the Earth orbit to its rotation on this axis.
Axis, yeah.
The Earth rotates on this axis faster than it do orbit. So if that it help y'all.
I think they get it. You just want to be a goddamn geek tonight.
My geek side.
You just want to be a geek. So let's get on to the parents, and let's get on to the parents. I think I'm gonna start off with the parenting thing because this has been a thing that me and Zoe have been talking about a lot lately. Parenting. I'm going to start the parenting because this has been a very emotional topic for me. Most of my Facebook statuses have been about my kids and future grandkids. That, let me say this, I'm very sure to say I don't want none before 15 years. I do not want to be a grandmother before the age of fucking 50. Let me just say that. But
that's a lie.
Okay, don't put that shit on me. But I'll say this. My perspective on parenting is very much so unorthodox. And the reason is because I feel like when I was raised as a child, I feel like I had a good mom. I feel like I had good grandparents. But I feel like they were so far deep in this, and this is one of those things where I'm not religious. I very much so love God, believe in God, have a very deep relationship with God, but I stray away from religion because I don't like the rules of religion. Okay. And that is where people be like, Justin, Zoe, always fucking on par with each other. They always going at motherfuckers next. No, I'm nothing like Zoe. I'm not into religion, period. Because I don't want anyone governing my children outside of me and their dad and our logic and our approach and our experiences. And I have absolute respect for everyone else who chooses different. There are a few principles that I pull from a lot of different religions, to be honest, which is why I don't fuck with religion. Because I'd be at a Baptist church this morning, at a goddamn Catholic church. Well, I ain't going to the Catholic church. They do a little too fucking much for me. But excuse me, people. I just been a lot of different places around the day. Okay, I don't mean to offend anybody, but yeah, I got children. But I will say that when I was growing up, being a child was almost like you were the possession of your parent. Darren, I'm about to knock that paper is fucking bothering me. I'm about to knock that whole goddamn brownie on the floor. Shit.
Be good now.
So for me, it's kind of like I feel as if, and I know that I wasn't allowed to always have an opinion. When I was growing up, if you didn't like the food your parent cooked, you couldn't say, I don't like this. Because the first thing you heard was, whatever I cook, you're going to eat. The decision to make a choice, the decision to express yourself emotionally, the decision to say I do and don't like were taken away from you. And now that I'm older and I've gone through therapy, I understand how those things actually hindered me in my adulthood. I understand how me not being able to say what I did and did not like as a child carried over into me being a woman, carried over into my relationships, carried over to my romantic relationships, carried over into my friendships where I was more passive than anything in situations that actually harmed me as a person. And we don't think about these. And I'm not saying this is at any fault of my parent, because I believe my parents, particularly my mom and my grandpa and my grandma, raised me in a loving manner. So in a way, I was raised in love, but I was groomed up in survival with my dad. My dad was the biggest influence in my life. Kind of, sort of, still is. Man, this motherfucker can fall out 26 years and start back talking. We're going to have more influence because we understand each other. I feel like he understands me in a way that most people don't. And why? Because he was always the person that allowed me to be a free person. Even as a child, I could think for myself. He respected my opinion. And a lot, my grandparents, my everybody's like, your dad will let you. My dad used to let my boyfriend spend night at 16. Fuck it. Guess what? At the same time, was that crazy as fuck? I didn't run into some of the issues that women ran into because I didn't have to sneak. I could tell my daddy everything. But with my children, I allow my children to be free thinkers. And I'm going to give an example about my youngest son in a few minutes. But I allow my children to be free thinkers. I allow my children to express their emotions, because if I take that right from them to be creative thinkers, to be free thinkers, to be within the boundaries of respect. And what I mean by that is you watch how you say it to me. You present it in a proper manner. But however you feel, you entitled to feel that way. Whatever your opinion is, you entitled to have that opinion. But you better damn well make it make sense when it comes out your mouth. You can't just walk up and say, Mom, I think this is stupid. Well, why do you think this is stupid? And what does stupid mean to you? And if you think this is stupid and you feel like this is not the best way, what is the next route? What is your solution to this problem? You got to give my children are allowed to think and feel how they want to, but they have to be problem solvers. They cannot be whiners. Whereas I was not allowed to have an opinion. I was not allowed to say, I don't like this food. Then you know what I saw myself doing in a relationship when I got older? I chose to fucking cheat over saying, I don't like how this make me feel. I don't like how you're going about this, because I had been made to feel uncomfortable in my own opinion, and it was prohibited when I was younger. I don't do that with my kids. Say how you feel, but you better fucking make it make sense, and it better fucking be logical. It better be respectful in your tone when you talk to me as your parent. My daddy allowed me to curse. I knew not to curse around other adults, but boy, I used to wear the word motherfucker out. My daddy used to let me curse all day. My children allowed to curse, and I don't give a fuck who like it. They ask for permission though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got to ask for permission. He'd be like, "Can I have permission? Can I have permission?
Can I say it?
Can I say it? Can I say it?" Because guess what? That's his vocabulary. I'm gonna be on your ass all day about expanding your vocabulary in other ways. But if that's how you feel, and that's the words you want to use, that's the words you use. I allow my kids to express themselves, because at the end of the day, they are not my property. They are children that were put in my care for me to nurture them into adulthood. And it's my responsibility not to change how they think naturally, but to mold it. It's my job to make sure their thought process and the way that they process information is logical. It's my job to make sure they understand sympathy. It's my job to make sure they understand empathy. It's my job to make sure they have a balance between their emotions and their mental health. It's my job to make sure they're able to not always understand what's going on around them, but that they know how to stop and process what's going on around them. Not to change who they are in their essence, because I believe when we change who our kids are in their essence, we change their ability to be creative. And when you change a child's ability to be creative, you change their ability to go make money. You change their ability to be famous. You change a lot of things. A lot of kids will be so much further in life if their parents didn't try to mold them to be who they wanted them to be. These children are not my property for me to live through them in a way that I could not live myself. But it is my job to nurture what is already there, what they already, the gifts and the talents that they already have, and to make them able to magnify those gifts. It's my job just to train them, not to change them. Only thing I want to make sure is my sons don't rape nobody, they don't steal, and they don't kill. Unless a motherfucker tried to kill them first. Okay? Let me say that. But that is my job when it comes to my children. It is not to change them, but to train them and make sure their thought process makes sense. To make sure they're more objective than subjective. To make sure they know when to be objective and when to be objective. To make sure they know when to tell the truth, and to make sure they know when to cry. To make sure they know, okay, this is the time for you to show sympathy to this person. This is the time that you need to be honest and tell them the truth. It's all about logic with me and my children. It's not about me making them who I want them to be at this point. And that is where I always knew growing up, and I never had a problem with how my parents parented. Let me say this, because going through therapy, I just realized that some of the shit that was wrong with me is wrong with me. What happens is I look back at how I was parented and I relate that to some of the issues that I've had in life. And again, no fault to my parents, because parents don't come with the book. And as careful as we're trying to be, I'm sure we're making mistakes, have made mistakes, and are going to make mistakes. But the sole purpose of us as parents, what we agree is to have my children to be free thinkers. And the example, I'm gonna move on to the let Zoe and Darren talk, but the example I'm gonna give is with my oldest, is with my baby. DJ is Jaron has my attitude that I have now. DJ has my personality. DJ thinks like me. A couple months ago, I was talking to DJ and I said, DJ, we were getting ready to travel. And I said, DJ, this is when we're going to come down to Mississippi in April for the funeral. So it's been a while. I said, DJ, I want you to say the prayer before we get on the road, because I'm one of those people. I believe that God listens to the children when he don't listen to nobody else. Because sometimes motherfucker might be like, shit, come out, bullshit always coming out your mouth. I ain't fucking paying no attention today. So just for extra safeguard, let me put the kids up here. And so when we got done, as we was driving down the road, I said, DJ, I really like your prayer. It was very sincere. DJ looks at me, bold as a motherfucker. He shot me. Because I had to tell Darren about his motherfucker baby when we got down the road. He said, Mom, to be honest, I don't believe in God. I said, what? He said, I don't believe in God, but you told me to pray and I prayed. If it make you feel good. Oh my God. So this is an onion for me to peel back. I was like, okay.
YouTube.
I was not heartbroken because you know what? These are his thoughts. And he got all his life to develop how he feels. And I knew that the day that he came to me and say, Mama, I believe in God, was going to be the day he believed in God and he believed what he believed in because of him, not because of me. And I'm okay with it. But I called there. I said, let me think about your motherfucker, baby. I hate this motherfucker praying to God. And this motherfucker say he don't believe in God. It's a fucked up shit. We're going to get in an accident. It could be anything. But what I liked was his honesty. And what I liked is, he did what he wanted me to do, what I wanted him to do. But I told him, I said, DJ, if you don't believe in God, don't you pray to God. Don't you ever do something that I want you to do because I want you to do it. Mama don't want you to get into that habit of people pleasing. Not even me. When you pray to God because that's what you believe in, and you solely believe that God gonna hear your prayers and answer them. And if you don't believe that, don't you do it. I believe the biggest sin of all is to do some shit you really don't believe in, which a lot of adults have a problem doing. Going to church, being fuck around with Zoe, being in the holiday spirit, knowing your ass don't believe in it. But anyway, yeah. So then a couple weeks ago, I'm laying in the bed and I'm talking to DJ, and he said, Mama, he started talking to me about God. And this is the thing with me, which is why I'm very stern in my parenting in a way, but I'm very loose. The boundaries change with what we're talking about, with what we're dealing with. And he starts talking to me about God. And I was like, you know what? My heart was flushed because at that moment, I don't have a child that is like most adults who go to church, who talk about God out of pattern, out of habit, because that's what they were taught. It's the tradition. I got a child who I prayed the same prayer for him after he told me that when my son starts speaking about God, let it be because God has shown himself to my child. See, I don't deal with religion because religion ain't never done nothing for me. But God, when I deal with God and I speak on God as God has shown himself to me. So I knew that back here a couple of weeks ago when I was laying in my son's bed and my son started talking about God, for whatever reason, and I still haven't gotten to the bottom of it, his sense of God has changed in the last 6, 7, 8 months. And guess what? I did not put that shit down his throat. I did not force him to go to church. I did not force religion, God, or anything in a spiritual manner into my son. He developed his sense of spirituality and God on his own, which is stronger than anything that can ever happen with my son. Which is why I parent the way I parent. Last night or the night before, when he said, why don't we go to church? Was that last night? Last night. We in the car. Ed took him to the zoo. He said, Mama, why don't we go to church? Now, guess what? This one I gotta grab myself as a parent because I'm completely against church. I do not like church in no way. I do not like religion. But I am allowing my son to be himself. And I said, baby, the reason Mama personally don't go to church, there's nothing wrong with church if that's what you like, but I don't go to church because how I deal with God has nothing to do with church for me. God is God. God is God outside of religion, whereas religion should be based around God. God is definitely stable for me. Religion is not always stable when it comes to God. I said, but if you want to go to church, mama gonna make sure you get to church. And Darren's niece has taken him to church with her before, and he really loved it. So if I gotta make, if he asks me to go to church, okay, I feel about church. This is about my son developing his own awareness and his own relationship with God, no matter the path. Now, if some shit go on that I don't like, I'm gonna intervene because he's still a child. He's still a child. And if there are some things in church and some practices that I don't like, and he come on and say something, say, now look, this is why mama don't like it. You got to pick and choose what you want out of this. And the thing about religion is you can't pick and choose what you want. You either ride with it all the way or you don't ride with it at all, which is why your mama don't ride with it, because there's some shit about it I don't like. But I respect him as my child. I respect my children. I'm sorry, not expect, but respect my children as free thinkers. And that is where my sense of parenting has changed. And it evolves every day. Because again, this is not a book. This is something me and Darren sit in bed and be like, oh my God, how are we going to fix this? How are we going to do this? Because when DJ told me he don't believe in God, I was like, well, most people think I don't either. Shit. I have been known to tell a motherfucker I'm an agnostic atheist or I'm agnostic. Just to get up on a motherfucker skin to the point where they thought it was completely true, not knowing the kind of relationship I have with God. But the kind of relationship I have with God is not about people. It's about me and God. And so I'm very lenient with how our children's minds are so, they're so fragile and their perspectives change frequently. So I'm very much so a different kind of parent in that aspect. So she finna come on with that bullshit. Because Zoe is very much so.
Well, I don't, and I understand it. It's always respect. And I do understand the religious aspect. And I would say that if it wasn't for my own experiences, I've told you this, I would not be who I am either. And I know, I've also told you, I was one of those ones because I'm the type, some people, Facebook is just what it is. I believe Facebook is a platform like any other social media platform that can be used for who you are, and so I recall seeing your post years ago, you saying you was an atheist, blah, 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 whatever. And whatever it was that pricked me to put you on the prayer board, but my prayer was, it wasn't no Lord, let her find that. My prayer was simple: you show her who you are. So because I am that type of person, and you know me, and it's probably one of the reasons why we can get along the way. I don't force what I believe upon anybody. I'm gonna stand on what I believe. I
Yeah.
will explain why I believe what I believe, but I'm not gonna force you to believe what I believe or ostracize you if you don't.
We
So I
we have
get
a
that.
mutual situation of understanding.
Yeah,
I always understand it. Sometimes better than the
yeah,
people that agree on that are on your side or in your
yeah,
vicinity.
yeah. Yeah. So I understand that, from a parenting point of view. I understand that from your parenting point of view. And I can say that my parenting point of view has changed over the years as well because I have grown, and I think that's to be understood. I think as you grow, of course, things change. And so, when we first became parents, I was like, my kids ain't gonna have to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, blah, blah, blah. You really grow up with a lot of unhealed wounds based on how you were parented. And then as I got older, before I really got into the scriptures the way I am now, I started to realize if it wasn't for my parenting, I would not be who I am at this point in my life. And so I had to dissect those things that were toxic. And, some of you guys know my story, some don't. My mom was 13 when she had me. So you're talking about a 13-year-old, a teen, literally raising a teen. I know it was the grace of God that helped her to raise me into the woman that I am at this point. My dad was not there. I did not have a relationship with a stepfather, the stepfather that she had for me. And so I was basically raised in matriarch and basically raised, in the church. Now, here are some things, and like you said, there are some things that I've had to heal from, but I don't hold it against my mom. But it had me to learn. And so my actual keynote message as a speaker is based on the way that I was raised versus the way that I should have been raised. I was raised in the church to be this good girl, the Don't let anybody look down on you because you're you for being an example and this and the other. And so what I found as I got older was most of the adults that raised me to be the type of woman that I was supposed to be were not themselves the example. So my keynote message is about being an example. So I feel you when it comes to creating the free thinkers, giving them a voice. I didn't have a voice. To this day, unfortunately, my mom and I still don't have the relationship that we could have because now I've grown into my voice and I won't let it be taken away. So I still have to learn how to mold that into a respectable manner with just saying, hey, it's okay. We don't have to talk about this, but I'm not going to be silent because you don't want to hear what I have to say, but I'll be respectful and, we can end the conversation and call it a day. So, I've had to heal from a lot of aspects that I did not want my children to have to heal from. And that was not being heard, not, y'all there? Hello? Hello?
We hear you. We can hear you. We're just on
Can
mute.
y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Um,
Is our screen
and so
frozen?
one of the things that I definitely stress is, say what you mean what you say, but don't say it mean. You have the ability to come to me and talk to me about anything, everything. I may not agree, but don't ever feel like, you can't talk to me, And so some of the things that I think that were toxic in raising me, I've tried to spiral that around so that it doesn't have that same effect. Where I am now as a parent, it just goes back to Torah. Because also what I realized as a parent is, some people say, like you said, we don't have an instruction manual. For me, I do. That's the scriptures. And so with the scriptures, it says to train a child up in the way that they should go. And so but the thing here is, and this is why I think we have a generation that has fallen off, of believers and of Christians. Particularly, I'm talking to Christians and believers, people that say that they actually believe, because you don't live what you preach to children. And that was what happened to me. You're going to tell me to close my legs, but then you over here with somebody every night. How does it differ from me and you? Because I'm a child? No.
Do as I
And
say,
so
not as I do.
do as I say, now as I do. That was definitely one of the things, and instead of being real enough to say, well, this is the expectation, this is the way that we should live, but mama's struggling a little bit. It's now I expect you to do because I told you to. You just do right. Don't worry about me because I'm grown. I don't live that lifestyle. And so with
Mhm.
my kids, they understand, and I'm very vocal with them, very transparent with them when it comes to purity. My biggest mandate is sexual purity. So no, I'm not gonna let them believe that sex before marriage is okay. If you get a baby, that's okay. No. What does the scripture say? If you have sex with this man, he is your husband. We're gonna work this out according to the word. Some people don't agree with that, but it's the Christians and the believers that don't agree with that. And I have a problem with that because this is one of the reasons you have atheists and people that take God for a joke because you don't live the word that you say that you believe. And
And
so
you and
we
I had
coin it
this
as,
conversation back during the summertime about
yeah,
marriage, remember? And I
because
don't even
culture,
believe in it and agree with it.
but it's culture. And so I think that we look at our kids as like, well, kids don't do what they want to do. And no, kids do what you let them do. I've been in education for 9 years. There's a way that you can train children up respectfully, give them a voice, but they have to still be trained because children will do stupid stuff if you don't train them. And so one of the biggest things that I have as a parent now is because we teach and we live according to the word that that we live, I get accused of being intense. Well, you took your daughter's cell phone. Well, yeah, that's as a parent, my job is to make sure that you don't put yourself in predicaments that you're not ready for. That's what you do as a parent. Well, we have a lifestyle of parents that say, well, You can't always watch them 24/7. If you're going back to biblical culture, the Bible that you say that you believe in, that is your job, is to make sure that that child is protected until they leave your household. So while I don't judge, but I stand heavily on raising children according to the scripture. And I'm a, because this ain't my show like this, so I'm gonna have to
But come on, be
bring
look.
some stuff
You know
in.
how we do. You know how we get down. We had this conversation.
And I think I just want to say above anything, when people see our kids and they look at our kids and they say, I'm proud of them and they're doing this and they're doing that, that comes with the decision to be and raise and train them according to the word. That doesn't mean that they don't have a voice. That doesn't mean that they know that, and I'm with you. They know God. Every last one of my kids pray in tongues. Every last one of them have had supernatural experiences. My son name is Supernatural CJ. That's what he goes by. They believe in God because my prayer was, Lord, you become real to them. So that when you hold me accountable, and this is the thing I had to also, and this transition probably in 2016, 2017. The Bible tells you clear as day to train your children up in the word, to put the word before them, to make sure that they write it down, to make sure that it's before them when they wake up, is before them when they go to sleep. You are supposed to engulf and saturate your children with the word of God for those that say that they are believers. That's what we do. So anything that's opposite of the word, I don't even entertain. Now, is that to say that we haven't dealt with things that weren't godly with them? Obviously, yeah, we have. And then
Huge.
too, and not just because they are children. Children, they go to school, they get influenced by the kids that are in school, that aren't raised the way that they're raised. Okay. We are also a quote unquote co-parenting. I say that loosely because we really ain't co-parenting nothing, but there's still that influence. I told you I was kind of pissed when I started this
We're
show, so
gonna have to
y'all
have that
kind of excuse me.
conversation. We're gonna talk.
Baby, I'm gonna screenshot you the message when we get off this live, so I'm just gonna keep it real. So y'all know me, y'all know. And if
You're
y'all
gonna have
know
to
him,
spaz
then
like I
whatever.
spazzed last night when I was texting you. The way I was
Yes,
spazzing.
yes. But the thing is, because it goes back to that unequally yoked thing, we're raising children according to the word. And so I believe, I believe so heavily in the word that if we follow the word righteously, not religiously, in the sense where it ain't real. Everything is a religion. If you wake up and do the same routine, you do that
You do it
religiously. You know what I'm
religiously. I
saying?
go to the gym
So
religiously.
you know what I'm saying? So when I don't want to say religion is a bad thing, but my way of life, we are religious in pushing purity because we say that we believe in the word. We don't give any. I put it to you like this, and I tell my daughters, I couldn't sleep with men and be loose. What makes you think you're gonna be able to? My husband and I were celibate, not celibate, but abstinent 400 days before we got married because the Lord Himself tore our tails up. That wasn't what He was pleased with. So what do I look like teaching young girls of mine? It's okay if you have sex. I have to be accountable to that, and that has changed with my accountability and my lifestyle because I cannot. I don't want to stand before the Most High and say, well, it's the culture, and what they can just do what they was gonna do it anyway. No, I'm not gonna have it on my hands. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
do that. And so my parenting, just like with marriage, it just all goes back to Torah. It's the basic blueprint. The Torah means instruction. So if anybody that's a believer or a Christian and say that, and some people say, well, you're a Hebrew Israelite, we read from the same Bible. Let's be honest. Unless you just totally doing away with the Old Testament, which still leads back to the New Testament, ain't no way you can say that it me
Mhm.
saying I'm a Hebrew Israelite and you saying you're a Christian, we still reading
There
from the
should
same
be
Bible.
different things that me and you should be able to agree on it and look at people like they crazy the way we do.
You see what I'm saying?
And
But
that's how me and Zoe got cool, y'all. That's how me and Zoe met in this group that we used to hang out with, just a bunch of married women years and years ago.
yep.
And then one day, me and Zoe got into I would say a debate because it was very respectful about sage burning. This is when me
Mm-hmm.
and Zoe became friends. Most of the people under there were talking about the Bible, but they didn't really understand it. And I, at the time, that Zoe saw me say that I was an atheist, but not realizing I read the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not religious, but I am very, and more so because my mom went to seminary, my mom went to Bible college. I read the Bible a lot, and my plight with religion is the fact that we be dealing with people who say they are Christians, who say they believe in religion, who say they believe in God, and say they believe in the Bible, but the shit they be talking about ain't got shit to do with shit and don't make sense. And that's how me and Zoe got into a debate. Zoe was like, shit, I ain't never think about this. Zoe went red, and we got to talking. And from then on, me and Zoe was on the phone talking every day like we knew each other from kids. On the phone talking, and even then, I think she had
Kissing.
started her transition because you was already married at that point.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
She
I
was
was.
already married. But we're very different people. Both believe in
Mm-hmm.
God, but she's a Hebrew Israelite. I don't deal with religion at all. But we very much so understand the Bible for how it was written and how and not how we choose to
And
translate
not
and
how we
receive.
choose to translate it. And I
Yeah.
ultimately I think that that's the biggest thing when it comes to parenting from a biblical point of view is really the fact that most of us, just like we live lukewarm lifestyles as Bible believers, and that's why I never ever judge anybody that says that they don't
I
believe,
like
because
that.
like I have told Jessica plenty of times, if it wasn't for my own experience with the Most High,
Mhm.
I wouldn't believe either. I wouldn't be in no church. I wouldn't be, no, like, deuces. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't represent the Bible, the faith that we, you know what I'm saying? And we chalk it up to being humans and all that, blah blah blah, whatever. Um,
You
no
either
offense,
believe
but
in the
it's
shit
just
or
a
you
bunch of,
don't.
you either believe or you don't. And if you believe, then your lifestyle should reflect it, because people are supposed to see that. So when it comes to marriage and when it comes to parenting, I base my foundation and I'm gonna be honest and plead the blood of Jesus, because I know some of y'all are really probably gonna say some stuff when I say this, but I my kids that are in this household with my husband are not biologically his. All of them know, if you don't want to live and obey the lifestyle that we are living, you can go to your dad. Call it what you want to call it.
I ain't no Hebrew Israelite and I believe that. Shit.
Come on now. But I've been accused of, choosing a man over my child and blah 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 blah
Child
blah.
neglect. Yeah,
But
we
the
know.
thing is, you have to have a foundation. And I've
Mhm.
been in a marriage where there was no foundation. There was unequally yoked. So with this lifestyle that we're in, if he's telling you, like, we don't wear pants, we wear dresses. So if he says you're gonna wear a dress and you gonna buck up against him for wearing dresses, what else are you gonna buck up against him with? That's gonna cause division in his household. That you're already not his blood seed. He owes you nothing. Let's be real, and I already know, like, I please blood of Jesus,
We
because
gonna, you know
we
what? We're
had
gonna
this
come back and
debate
do a
about,
whole segment there because that's what we ain't hit. We ain't hit
yeah,
step parent and shit. We're gonna come back and do that on a
yeah,
different
we'll come back
we're
and do
gonna
that, because
blast
that
it.
was her. That needs to be the pre-recorded one, because I don't need nobody getting all out the way. I'm still
We're gonna pre-record it. That's gonna be
we
our
gonna,
pre-recorded
yeah.
for this month. We'd have came up with it already. Thank you. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that all because of so that way they can cuss
But
at their
yeah,
recording,
they
not
cuss
us.
at the recording,
Because we
because
ain't gonna give a damn.
but the parent with parenting, one of the things I have learned, and I got girls, and if you're a woman, you done been sneaky, you done been lying, you put on them tears. I was laughing the other day when you was talking about how you be gaslight, bro. But come on. Come on. And as girls, as women, I don't play games with my girls. I let them know up front, your tears don't move me. When you finish crying, I'ma hug you. We can cry it out, that's fine. But we finna handle what this is.
He need to be their
Period and
mama.
point blank.
He need to be their mama. Cause I get his ass every time.
Negative.
It's gonna stop working. I should have got that status because he about to be up on games. Shit.
He probably already knew anyway.
But Zoe, you led
But
right into our
yeah,
next and our
yeah.
final topic of this, which is
I
infidelity.
ain't speak.
Oh, come on, baby. Come on.
Oh yeah, come on. Come on, bro.
Come on, baby. We sorry.
I'm okay. We go to the next one.
Because I do think that is one of the, like I always say,
Yeah.
me and Dan have our own perspective, but when it comes to parenting,
Yeah.
it's it's we dead on with it because in our house, my husband is the end all to be all. We got
That's
boys,
it.
he's the decision maker. It's too easy. We don't raise kids according to our parents. How we raise kids according to what we believe in, mainly with my husband, of
Yeah.
course. We got sons. I let him handle these motherfuckers. Shit. Let me keep it like that. So we done got up to the grand finale. So I'm gonna backtrack like this because Zoe came into it when she was talking about sexual purity. And I think the gist of tonight is perspective. And I was
Mhm.
talking to Zoe about this earlier, and I was talking to Darren when we was talking about doing this show. For me, this show is about how our perspective changes, but not based on people, not based on external consequences, but internal conflicts and
Yeah.
consequences. So when it
Yeah.
comes to marriage, what I learned is basically it's not all about me. It's not all about love. There are other things that go into play, and marriage is a journey between two people who really want to be married to each other. Two, when it comes to parenting,
That's it.
it's point blank period for me. My job is to train, not to change. Train, not change.
That's it.
It's black and white for me. And three, when it comes to infidelity, my mind has changed on infidelity several times over the years, but drastically, even in the last month. Me and Darren was talking about this. And this is what it is. People's, and we kind of hit on this when we was talking earlier about our 2018 year. I'm not gonna go into a lot with that because that's for me and my husband to know, and for people to fucking not give a fuck unless they want to try to figure it out, which you can't. But this is it. For me, when it comes to infidelity, cheating, however you want to put it, the soft words. For me, it's not about other people. For me, it's not about if I'm going to hurt him, how's he going to react? How do people look at me? Because you're dealing with somebody who ain't never gave a fuck what a motherfucker got to say about them anyway. For me, cheating stopped making sense. So this is my stance on it. It don't make sense for me to do it. It don't make sense for me to do it. And the reason it don't make sense for me to do it at this point in my life, somebody who believe, motherfucker, if you play with me, I'm beating your ass. Motherfucker, if I wake up and the sun shining just right, it might be one of them nights. That was my thought on cheating for most of my life. But for me, at this point in my life, it's black and white as this, and it's simple. It don't benefit me. It don't benefit me, and it causes more harm mentally, emotionally, and physically, and spiritually than it do. And if you stop cheating for other people, if you don't believe that cheating is good, or if you don't think about cheating in a certain way because of other people, it don't benefit you none. And you start back cheating, or you start to cheat. For me, I believe that at this point, and I say, like I say, my thoughts on this have changed just in the 5 6 weeks. When I really, because I go through these very spiritual moments where I be like, does this make sense? For one, when I was growing up, my daddy was always like, do what you do. Every motherfucker you meet gonna cheat. It is what it is. That's a man's nature, this and this and that. And my thought used to be, you know what? I think I mistook that because me and my dad were kind of talking about this last week. I think that took it as because I believe every motherfucker gonna cheat, I need to too. But in reality, at 35 years old, cheating don't work for me because it don't benefit me. I feel like when you change your thought on something, it should be only because you have an internal conflict and you are suffering internal consequences for it. Nobody, I love my husband, but let me be honest, I don't love him enough to not cheat on him. Because what the fuck is love?
Damn.
I'm just being honest. And these are things me and him talk about. But in reality, we just said this when we had the love and loyalty. What the fuck is love? And when you talk about loyalty, can a person cheat and still be loyal? In reality, can I go cheat and still show up for you when you need me to? Yeah, which is why a lot of men do it. As a 35-year-old woman, why don't I, at this point today, this might not have been my thought a month ago. This might not have been my thought 6 weeks ago. This might not have been my thought 6 months ago. But at this point, it does not benefit me. I'm a person where even with marriage, we don't understand how marriage lasts so long. Fuck love, fuck loyalty, fuck we can get some shit together, we can build a foundation. Marriage lasts a long time because every day you wake up and weigh the pros and cons to being married to a motherfucker.
Right.
Every day that you decide to stay married to a person, it's because you rationalize the pros and cons. Why are you fucking with me? Why are you fucking with me?
Because the pros and cons.
I'm about to these cons about to outweigh these pros right now. You fucking with me. So to me, and that's my thought on it. Every day when you wake up and you say, I still want to be married, and you put in effort into your marriage, it's because you say being in this situation benefits me more than not being in it. And people who divorce say, not being in this situation is going to be more beneficial to me as a person. Guess what? At 35 years old, cheating for me is it don't benefit me. A couple things happen when you cheat as a woman. And this is me being completely transparent. Over a lifetime as an adult, I say I hit adulthood probably 17. And the reason I say that at 17, I had my own apartment paying rent. So I could say I was an adult. I paid my own bills at 17 years old. At 17 years old, for me, cheating was a motherfucker do the wrong thing, I'm gonna go cheat and find me somebody else. I'm gonna get me a little piece of happiness somewhere else. Or whatever I'm missing, I'm gonna go get it. But you know what happens when you cheat? And I can honestly say this, a lot of people don't like to admit, you still end up hurt. Because if you're in a relationship, most people in relationships cheat with people in relationships. And now because that other person in a relationship and you in a relationship, y'all can't even be together where y'all want to. So you fucking feeling still end up hurt to the point where you might as well not be with who you with and go be single so you can find another single person and be with them righteously and outright.
Mm-hmm.
Cheating as a 35-year-old woman don't benefit me physically. Because now I got one motherfucker that want to fuck every chance. Like, yeah, I know I got to come home and fuck. And then you got another motherfucker want to fuck because his ego say, I'm cheating with you and I want to fuck you and you belong to somebody else and this and that. Most likely it's based on lust anyway, because what made me attracted to you in the beginning? When it comes to cheating, for me, to change my mentality on cheating, and this is to not say if I did or did not cheat. This has nothing to do with what I actually have and have not done. This has to do with my mentality and my thought on it. My thought on it is, it's not enough for me to be like, my family gonna get ruined if I cheat. For some people, that's enough to make a motherfucker not cheat, which is why it normally don't last long. Because eventually, as a human, you choose yourself. Eventually, your carnal need, your natural needs outweigh your needs to be a good parent, to be a good wife, to be a good husband, and you choose you.
I never chose me.
Boy, shit. 20, let's not forget, we're talking about 2018 now. And we cool with it.
It don't count though.
It don't count. 2018 don't count. We only want to, we went from 2017 to 2019.
So he never chose himself.
That was a fake apocalypse in 2018. But seriously, when you do for me, it's when you do other things. And I was talking to a really good friend of mine a couple of weeks ago. And I told him, at this point, she's not even a thing for me because whereas 5 weeks ago, my thought was different about this. Just 5 weeks ago, my thought was different about this. But at this very moment, she does not benefit me, not because it can ruin everything around me, but because it can destroy everything in me. And what I mean by that is when you go cheat, You got the emotions that you're dealing with at home. You in and out. This person ain't finna go nowhere. You just cheating to go let off some steam. But now what you're doing is when you go cheat with somebody else, you get emotionally tied to a person, and now you're picking up their emotional baggage. Now you're picking up their bullshit because they probably cheating the same reason you cheat, and they going back home and being sad. When their emotions at home good, you non-existent. When your emotions at home good, they non-existent. It don't really benefit you, and it puts you into two. It only creates a second situation that you're emotionally confused. And at 35 years old, I don't have time to be emotionally confused. At 35 years old, I can stand in the gym 24/7. I ain't got the energy to be letting two motherfuckers beat my body down. At 35 years old, I don't have time to let my heart get emotionally torn because the way to a woman's heart is through a pussy. We always get fucked up like that, vice versa. Now I got this motherfucker at home that's fucking torn with me because he been able to do it for years. And then I got another motherfucker on the outside that's able to do it. It boils down to this. Women are not biologically, emotionally, and mentally or genetically engineered like men. I ain't got time for it. Whereas the majority of my life, I thought like my dad.
Mm-hmm.
But I misconstrued some of what he taught me just because he was telling me this is what a man do. He wasn't intentionally telling me go get even with a motherfucker. Because how do you get even with a man who dick can't stretch? I'm just get a little bug. I'm gonna get a little real here. Your vagina can be stretched. A motherfucker dick don't get stretched. A man can go have sex with women all day and don't get tired. At some point, you're gonna be a little soul-ass woman. You're gonna get fucking water fuck out. The pros don't outweigh the cons of cheating for me at 35 years old. And I'm gonna be honest, it ain't about him. It ain't about my kids. It ain't about our marriage. It ain't about the possibility that I can lose everything. Because guess what? Guess what losing everything in this marriage is to a bitch who's lost it all before and gotten it back? Not shit. I've lost it all before and gotten it back. So why would I could possibly lose everything I have be enough for me not to cheat? Because I'm one of those people, I always choose me. And now at this point, at 35 years old, my thought on cheating has changed because I now choose me. I choose to be mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually stable, which is why cheating has changed me. It don't have nothing to do with nobody. He can't be mad at me. Him leaving me for cheating ain't enough for me to not cheat. It's not. People do it every day. It's not. It's me not being in agreement within myself. I got to be able to go to bed at night. And I'll be honest, I'm one of the people I used to go to bed at night and cheat. But it don't benefit me. I've gotten to a point where I feel like cheating causes more harm to me as a person than it benefits me. And to be honest, at 35 years old, cheating ain't never benefited me, even when I felt like it was. I could think it was. I could tell myself all day, well, shit, I got a motherfucker back. Not really. Not really. There are so many things about cheating now, like I said, in the last 5 weeks, my whole thought about it, my whole perspective has changed on it because it don't benefit. It don't benefit me at all. I can't tell you one time cheating has actually benefited me in the greatest scheme of things. So I don't do it. So my journey and my thought and my perspective on cheating has changed because at some point in life, I just felt like if I wake up and I want to cheat, I'm going to cheat. If I feel like it's something I'm missing, I'm going to go do it. But it's like the 80-20 rule where you go cheat. I don't really like the 80-20 rule because I feel like you can never get 100%. No way. I feel like the 80-20 rule is a catch-22. But when you cheat, that 20 really is a real thing because you can only ever get what's available for you to get from the other person. So all you do when you cheat is leave one conflict and create another. Right. Whereas you think you cheated and you gaining something that you're not able to get, you only creating a second conflict. That's why it don't make sense to me anymore. And that's what when you talk about sexual purity, I'm one of those people at this point right now, it feels good for me to be like, you know what, I ain't worried about all that extra bullshit. I ain't got time for all that extra drama.
Mhm.
My husband, at this very moment, I was telling this to a friend a couple of weeks ago. They're gonna go cheat, and what I mean cheat, sneak behind my back, because he can come home and tell me what he want to do, and he can go do that. But if he go cheat, whereas 5, 10, 2 years ago, motherfucker, I'm finna get you back. A year ago, motherfucker, I'm finna get you back because you cheated and ran the fuck out. It ain't enough to make me go cheat. Because him doing what he's doing physically and emotionally with another person, we can't even, that's like comparing apples and oranges because he's a man and I'm a woman. I watched this be what it be. But I done watched this motherfucker go do what he do and not think twice about it. Not think twice about the person he'd have been through. Women ain't like, we like that, but we not like that. The core of us is not like that. If you're a natural lover, you're a natural caregiver, you're a natural nurturer. Like me. Everybody around you, especially those who you are romantically or sexually involved with, you're gonna feel the need to nurture them. How the fuck you gonna be nurturing another bitch husband, another bitch man, somebody that belongs to somebody else that you don't have no access to because there's not a mutual agreement? We ain't talking about poly now. We ain't talking about poly. So now you basically trying to step in and do a job, and you ain't even talking to me, bitch. You don't even know what the fuck I'm doing now. You wasting your time. You waste your time when you cheat, trying to do shit that somebody else already fucking doing. When in reality, if you choose to be poly, we're gonna do this on another segment. If you choose to be poly, you can have a conversation. Okay, what's already being done? What you need me to be doing? What you need me to do, motherfucker? That's the benefit of it to me. And at this point, it just don't benefit me. A lot of people say, I don't cheat because I love you so much. I don't cheat because I love my kids. I don't cheat because I love my family. And motherfucker, not enough. That's why you did it when you did it. That's why you fuck up and go do it when you go do it. Because you're not changing the essence of you. You're trying to please everybody around you. And so you still have an internal conflict with your decision. Whereas doing this for me now causes an internal conflict. And it has consequences that ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. Period. But I love you too much. What you got to say? We're gonna let you handle this second because I'll let it go. Oh yeah, he trying to get his good guy shit together when he talking about cheating. Look at his face. Look at his face. I'll let Zoe go. Go, Zoe. We already know what Zoe.
You already know.
We
But
already.
that's for the people in the back. Yeah, my definition of understanding, well, not my definition, but understanding cheating, I would definitely not have thought 15, 20 years ago that I would think about it like I do now. So for now, cheating to me is not even necessarily going behind my back because my husband has he has his privacy. And we've been like that since we've met, but he's always to me been a loyal man. He's been oh, I was muted. My bad. Oh. He's always been a man that earned my respect enough for me to be like, okay, you do, you doing what you're doing, and but he's like I said, he's been honest, but outside of the honesty, he just had a in the 7 years, going on 8 years that we've been together, I've just always respected him enough to give him his privacy. And he's never given me a reason to well, no, I take that back. We've had one or two instances, but those were things that I can say for one kind of came to light when because we've always had really an honest relationship. Anytime that this honesty was at play, it was like immediately exposed. So it wasn't a cycle of, it was like an instance over here, instance over there, and it was like, okay, this was what it was. I probably should have said something sooner, but I didn't, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So this water under the bridge, as far as I'm concerned, coming from somebody that's always lying to you. So I wouldn't necessarily say going behind my back because I mean, like, I don't act, and he does what he does. If he wants me to know, then he'll tell me. So it just is what it is. It's because we have that understanding that I can't say if he's talking to somebody I don't know about this cheating. But 20 years ago, I would have said that he was cheating on me because I understood cheating to be okay. Well, you're talking to somebody that's not me. You're liking somebody that's not me. You're having sex with somebody that's not me. When in honesty, that's not that's not going back to my lifestyle, that's not the biblical definition of cheating. So for those of you that don't follow me, why I don't believe that that is cheating or adultery, is because from my understanding of biblical adultery, it is only based on the status of the woman, which means if the woman is married, then the man is not supposed to be with her. If she is a single woman, then he has every right to marry her, sleep with her, whatever. And so I don't really look at men cheating. The only thing that I do that for me, like I try to encourage brothers to do, if you know by nature, biologically, like you're not gonna just be with that one woman, like, don't you don't have to let her all up in your business, but at the same time, don't leave her on thinking that she's forever the only one. You can
Be
do that in a
honest.
discreet way, be honest, and demand your respect from that. You know what I'm saying? Either she gonna respect it or she not. You know what I'm saying? But from my end, because I have been in adultery a few times, and like we said earlier, I have been in adulteries a few times, and like we said, love wasn't enough. Love was not enough because, or me losing it all was not enough. I didn't, because what Kendrick Lamar says it like this: what's a woman with her feelings hurt? A demon, you better off killing her. We already know when you piss a woman off, when you hurt her, when she can't take nothing else, like
Woo!
she don't care. I'm gonna take the house, the dogs, the cars. I'm gonna take everything because I don't care. That's just how hurt I am, right?
Okay, Prophet
So,
John.
you
Keys and the dog. You
know,
want it
it's not a. I want it all. You know what I'm saying? Everything. So, but it's not enough. Love is not enough to, like just said, it's not enough that I love you to make me not hurt you back. And in my aspect, I'm like, just if I felt like you was hurting me and I couldn't stop you from hurting me, well, let me go because I want to be with somebody else too. You know what I'm saying?
So
Like,
true.
let,
It's good for
you
you,
ain't
good
the
for
only
me,
one.
motherfucker. And I'm gonna make it better.
And I'm gonna make it better, And so, and it did hurt in way probably more than, I mean, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Me at this point
We're gonna have to have
at
that
30,
conversation. We got a lot of conversations we gotta have this week.
listen,
Please,
because I
calendar.
was intent, and when you have a woman, especially a woman that church going and all the type of stuff like that, is intent on being faithful. Yeah, like for me to go back to a dude that you was already like insecure about from the beginning intentionally, and the only thing that saved me that one time was the man wouldn't even sleep with me. He would not sleep with me. Anyway, so what was I? As a woman now, 38, in the word, in the Torah, like I am, I have to say that my spiritual journey is now enough because it's not religious for me. It's not that I love my husband so much. It's none of that. I'm with Jess. But my spiritual journey, who I am in the Most High, has burnt the living fire out of me.
Mhm.
It's burnt the living fire out of me. So, I had an experience where the Most High just told me, do what I asked you to do or you about to die. So nothing is worth me losing my life. Nothing is worth me getting off the journey that I am on now. And
Yeah.
so I love my husband. I respect my husband. I don't look at any other man except for my husband. He has been the only man I have been with for the last 7 years. So that, for one, has never happened with any other man in my life. So that's a lot. That's a lot for me as a woman, but really it is who I am now in the word. And for me, it just always goes back to I don't play with the fire of the Most High any longer. I just don't play with it. And I understand too that even with me being an adulterous woman, the things that I have had to deal with because of that, it wasn't worth it. Because
Right.
at the end of the day, technically, he wasn't in the wrong. Now, he didn't know he had the right to do what he was doing, And I can't say that he really just lied, but I also knew that from the moment I had gotten with the man, he was never just with me. So, and we be knowing that too as women. We be knowing that, but you just want to believe your fairy tale and think that you just got the one special man out of the whole earth that only sees you and looks at you for the rest of his life. Anyway, whatever. But he wasn't in the wrong. Unless he slept with a married woman, he wasn't in the wrong. But me defiling, and my husband said like this, you go out there and you cheat because you mad at me. That's your stuff. Like this, you and your body, you got to deal with it.
That's really it.
You
Nobody
know
else
what
around
I'm
us, not
saying?
even our husbands, have to know what we're dealing with, but we know. We know that. That's why I say it's all about internal conflict and internal.
Yeah,
It ain't about
yeah.
other people. I agree.
No. So whatever comes up on it, and my mama, one of the lessons my mama taught me, she said, if you cannot look at yourself in the mirror at the end of the day, don't do it. It's not about what nobody else thinks. It's about, are you able to look at yourself at the end of the day in the mirror? And so for me, that's really what it boils down to. And that's probably why I'm as bold as I am and I really don't care what people think. But I really can't care what people think because, I whatever. I ain't gonna say that. But for me, cheating is just an aspect of, for one, I prayed for my husband. I prayed, I fasted, like I wanted this man, like I had never wanted nothing else. And I got exactly what I prayed for. So that is when I say I didn't pray no pity pet prayers. Like I fasted for this man. I waited on this man, like 400 days of abstinence for this man. Like it wasn't like we done been through some fire. You know what I'm saying? But even in that, that's not enough for me to say I don't ever want another man. What is enough for me to say I don't ever want another man is, Most High, I gave you my life. That day when you could have killed me, you saved my life. And I made a decision to obey your word, regardless of how much it hurts me. So what I don't do is I don't put myself in situations, and it's not in our culture anyway, but I don't put myself in situations. I don't think about putting myself in situations. Just like I do when we go back to the whole parenting thing. Why would I entrust, if I know that I have to keep a guard over myself as a grown woman, why would I leave a 16, 17-year-old horny little girl out there to fend for herself and hope that she stays pure? No, like
It's ain't gonna happen.
we
It's
stay
unrealistic.
protected. It's
Mhm.
unrealistic. So I keep myself protected. I keep myself under the covering of my husband. I make sure that he knows what I'm doing with it. And I don't really just associate with guys out the way. And even in the truth, I don't have a lot of guys that approach me. If they approach me, they'll say, if it's okay with your Lord, or I I want to talk to you, but when can your Lord be with you so we can talk? So it's just drawing the boundaries, yes, of our culture, but at the same time, all that stems from loving the Most High. I may not love myself enough not to cheat. I may not love my husband enough not to cheat, but I do love the Most High. I completely love, and I am loyal. I put it like that. I am loyal and committed to who He has called me to be at this point in my life. Everything is hinged on it, and so I don't play with it. I don't play with it from a women's point of view, because you got lesbians out there that's on assignment. You got men on assignment. Like I know that, that want to be with me, but I don't, from a spiritual realm and physical realm, I don't play with it. I don't entertain it because, like you said, it's not worth it. We built so much in these last 7 years. What do I look like being entertained by a man at,
Who really ain't gonna
you
give
know
you
what I'm saying?
happiness? Who really ain't gonna
You know
who
what I'm
ain't gonna
saying?
pay for it?
Who's not gonna do it? It's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say like I'm perfect. I'm just whatever. But I know I believe in the formula. The formula is to stay under the protection of my covering of my covering. Even when I speak and I'm on live, I had to get my head wrap on because the head wrap symbolizes a covering. We wear dresses to symbolize the covering. Is all, like you said, you may be strategic, but you go through your head. Everything goes through my head. So My phone is wide open. He can look at it whenever he wants to. Now I have access to his phone, but I give him his privacy. Whether he looked through my phone or not, he has complete access, complete right to anything and everything when it comes to me. Because two, now this is the opposite there. I'm not finna sneak and cheat. I'm a grown woman. And I've always been like this. Sneak for what? I'm grown. So when I was cheating, if I felt like talking to the man right there in front of my ex-husband, that's what I was doing. Who you
Well, you felt
texting?
like
Oh,
dying.
Jay.
I ain't never felt like dying, sis. I ain't never felt like that.
But see, that's another level of when I'm in that mode,
Yeah, you're
no,
bold
baby,
in it.
that's
Yeah,
it. I'm
we
a grown
all are
woman.
in
I'm
some way or
not
another.
finna lie and hide nothing. Oh, I'm finna go see Jay. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm finna do. Now you gonna knock my head off if you want to, but I'm not finna lie. I'm gonna do what I'm finna do.
But you think you
So
do, I'm a cheat.
that's just that's just the level of honesty that I am. So my husband already knows, like you ain't got to wonder. You know what I'm saying? You got baby, it's right there.
It
It's
is,
right there. You know,
and you
but
gotta
it's not.
respect. You gotta
But
respect it.
it's not worth it. You know, it's not worth it because too for me now. I think of beyond my husband, beyond my kids. I'm gonna tell y'all, the Most High don't play with me. I fear, like I be the mess around and try to cheat, and literally drop dead or something, had a heart attack. Like he don't play with me. Like he
Why
does
you there?
not play.
Why you
What
there?
he
I
does not play with
I
me.
mean, and see, I'm the opposite. Whereas I never had those fears. I never
Yeah,
had a big enough fear to be like, oh, if I cheat, this gonna happen. Because I always chose me. If selfish as it may seem, people don't agree
yeah.
with it. People don't. But when you cheat, what are you doing? You're
You're
choosing
choosing
how you
you
feel over everything else
over
around you.
everything
I
else.
never had those
Yeah,
fears. Oh, this gonna happen or that gonna happen. I did what I want. I did what I wanted to do.
yeah,
Whereas that's why for me it had to be internal. It
yeah,
had to be. I started experiencing internal conflicts,
yeah,
internal consequences.
yeah,
Nothing on the outside can check because I've always been who I am and I've always been who I was
yeah,
going to be.
yeah.
But for me, one thing I can say that has stayed consistent, unlike you 20 years ago, I still wouldn't leave a man for cheating. I got mad at a motherfucker for a lot of things. Cheating wasn't really it.
Yeah,
Now, I might get mad
yeah,
about the factors surrounding the cheating, but it's
yeah.
because, again, I was groomed by a daddy that was kind of like,
Mhm. Yeah.
if you, I called my dad on some bullshit one time when me and Darren first got together, and he was like, "I don't want to hear that motherfucker shit." It was
Because he
never
had
a
already
thing.
told you.
It's the only thing that has stayed
Yeah,
consistent with me. Now, at this
yeah.
point, I leave you for cheating. You want to know why I leave him for cheating at this point? Today, even 5 months ago, I wouldn't leave him for cheating. 3 months ago, I wouldn't leave him for cheating. Cause motherfucker, just tell me what the fuck you want to do. And now that you have decided that you want to take a back seat on some things, you ain't got to do it. So I'll leave you because you ain't even got to fucking take the back seat like you chosen to take the back seat.
Look
You ain't got a lot of me. You
at
ain't got
that,
a
you
lot.
like, you ain't going nowhere.
I'm really not a bitch of his son. I'm just kidding. It ain't enough for me to destroy my kids' home about what the
Yeah,
fuck he want to do.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry. I'm
yeah.
sorry. A lot of women ain't gotta agree with, oh, you a different kind of woman. Fuck that. Y'all do too.
No, no.
You women that stayed after babies. You stay
Yep,
knowing all kinds of shit. So there's a difference in you actually doing
yep,
it and me actually
yep,
saying it. A lot of
yep.
y'all have been the action to my word.
Mm-hmm.
And this ain't about other people. But that has always been my thing. A motherfucker cheating has never been enough for me to leave. I
Yeah,
never left a man for cheating. Never. My first
yeah.
husband used to cheat. I ain't fucking leaving because he cheated. I left motherfuckers. The motherfucker started putting his hands on me.
Mm-hmm.
I would had he never started putting his hands on me, we probably could have stayed married an extra couple years.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
You were gonna come through. I would have been Mississippi for you to come through.
Shit, you come now.
I was coming to Mississippi. I was a cheater too then, so
Yeah.
we definitely would
You
have crossed
definitely would.
paths. I was definitely a fucking cheater.
Yeah.
Had a
But
blast.
you know what, that is too, that's, and as we talked, we had similar stories, but that was really that was really the finale of my ex marriage. Like, it got physical, and we had through the years physical altercations, but I knew because I had gotten to a point, I didn't necessarily leave him for cheating, but at the same time I started cheating. And I'm like, I don't, it's just certain stuff. I don't know how to describe it, but because of the level of disrespect I had for him, and my ex-husband, big military, GI Joe, whatever.
There's some
Uh,
cheaters anyway.
you know, so he couldn't handle that version of me, that disrespect, that I'm finna go out, I'm
Yeah,
finna club, I'm
no.
finna, what I'm saying? He couldn't handle that. And so the next phase was the physical aspect. You coming, you pulling me, what I'm saying, from folks' houses, and what I'm saying, throwing my phone and all that type of stuff. And I'm just not that like, I would tell him, we are 10 years in, I told him from the beginning, I'm not gonna let you beat me. Like, I'll kill you before you beat me. Like, that's not gonna happen. I'm
Please
sorry. I'm just saying, dude, 5'11", I'm 5 even. Come on now. You know what I'm saying?
that's
Military, you
what you
working
do.
out and stuff.
If you get mad about me cheating, go on about your business.
Go
And if you find
on
me
your
while I'm
business.
cheating, you don't leave, I'm gonna cheat even more.
And did. Do you hear me? So anyway, um, I did. But
Because that
that's
means you
really
want to
what it
stay.
boiled
That means you
down
like me
to.
cheating on your ass. Because you could just be
But
gone and stay with my ass.
realistically, and this is the thing, and me and you talked about it, a lot of times before. As women, we are the ones that really tear our homes up when we leave these men for doing
For
really what's
cheating.
in their biological
Mhm.
nature.
Which shouldn't
And
be
I
even
talk
working.
about that. I won't know what chapter it is, but I talk about it in the book. I don't know if you made it there yet. What did great grandmama and them do? What did they do? You didn't have women always up and leaving well, they made more money, and grandma didn't. No, grandma and them had enough sense to know that, baby, this is what he gonna do. And
The
what I'm
next
saying, grandma
motherfucker
might do
was
it too,
queen.
but you not finna mess that family up. And if we are, before we got on this show, I was dealing with a situation, I told you, that's an effect of divorce on my child. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. So
No.
there's no way, what I'm saying, that I hindsight is 2020, young, didn't know no better. I get it. But when you if all he doing is being with other women, which is technically, especially if you married and call yourself a Christian, you don't have a right to control anyway. You tearing up, or we're tearing up our community, because the backbone of our community is marriage. You got
Mhm.
marriage, you got family, the families get together, the families build. You know what I'm saying? We
Mhm.
can be so much further if we stop tearing up our families, and then we'll say, well, the men shouldn't do da da da. You can't. Once again, if you are a Bible believer, that's not for you to decide.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And I have to say that because so many people claim to be Christians. You have very few people that say that they're atheists, or agnostics, whatever. Majority of people, I think 80% or so, proclaim to be Bible believers in some
It's
form or
still one of
fashion.
the biggest religions on the planet. And you know what? That's my issue that I have. That's the only issue I had with men. Instead of sitting back judging men like my husband, judging men like your husband,
Mhm.
judging men like the men of several of our
Mhm.
friends for being
Mhm.
honest about what they want to do, you sit up, like, be honest yourself.
Mhm.
I don't have no respect for a man like that at this point.
No.
You trying to appease a woman? Trust
Yep.
me. If you doing what you're supposed to do, take care of that woman and doing whatever, she gonna give your ass some flashback about it for a minute. But in a minute, she gonna look, and I'm gonna keep it. And this is gonna be the end of my perspective on this, because we done ran with this. Darren ain't had no leeway on this. I ain't met a woman yet that's worth me leaving my husband. I ain't met a
Listen, you
woman
better
that
come
he's
on over
had
here.
anything with yet that's worth me taking our love, our foundation,
Yeah.
and what we building for our
Yeah.
kids, and taking my kids
Yeah.
out the house with they did for her.
Yeah. It's
It could
detrimental.
be me on
It's
my high horse,
detrimental.
but I ain't met one yet.
It's detrimental, and it's really not worth it. And I'm glad that we came into the understanding of polygyny we did from a biblical, viewpoint. But even before then, like I said, it really wasn't an issue because he joked out. He was like, I've been single so long, I just feel like I deserve two. When I do
He
settle down.
said that from the very
So
beginning. I feel like I
he
deserve two
said it from
wives. If you're gonna be with me, that's what I want. I
so
respect it.
so I look at it as we've built and we continue building, the kids and everything. And I've done it. Like I've torn up, I've plucked down my home. You know what I'm saying? Now my ex-husband, he did what he did. Granted, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be real enough to say I take responsibility for opening my legs up to the dude in the first place, knowing that we were not equally yoked.
So
So
we was
I
a little
can't put
savage.
everything, I can't put everything on he was being who he was. Period.
Mhm.
If I wanted different, I should have chose different, and I tell him the same thing because he knew who I was too. But either way, um, we just gotta be real enough. It's just not divorce is hard. Like divorce is really, really hard on kids. It's really, really,
Mm.
really hard. It's when I say I can't imagine taking my kids now and they've been, outside of their dad, my husband is the only man that they've known since I left
Mhm.
their father. So I cannot imagine starting all over. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't, like, all those things do come and play. I'm not gonna say it's enough, but all those things do come and play. It's like
Yeah.
I can't do
It
this,
got to be something
so
serious.
yeah,
So
you know.
we're gonna we're gonna get your because we just took this and ran the fuck
See, I
out
don't
with
even
it.
know. I don't know no more.
Hell no, no.
No, no,
Infidelity with infidelity.
Hey,
See,
he got the green light. It ain't nothing for him.
Honestly, I always been the type that believe that even though I am a police officer by trade, I ain't never been the type to police anybody's body because I believe a person gonna do what they're gonna do regardless. They're just how I feel. Um,
but you're not gonna talk about your approach to cheating, huh?
my approach to cheating
Your thoughts surrounding you cheating,
about me cheating.
about you cheating.
Honestly, when I was younger, when I mean in my early 20s,
Boy, you a guy. Son. Well, anyway,
in my early 20s,
But so that's all irrelevant.
my early 20s was like, man, no matter what type of excuse I came up with, it because it's something I wanted to do.
mm,
Yep. At the end of the day.
And I stand by my decision no matter what. It's I can say I did it for this reason, that reason, but at the end of the day, I did it because it's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So
and that's a part of your growth because you ain't
yeah,
always said like that. At first, there was
I'll do
100 reasons. Every time, a different reason why you did it. It's easy.
because in
That's what you want to do.
in my head shit, then every time I would ask why you did this, why you did that, shit, because you used to argue a whole lot. Why you did this? Because we wasn't in a good space. Why you did this? Shit, I don't know.
Because
You ran out of reasons.
song was read that day. When the truth answer is that's because you
But
wanted to
What he
do.
wanted to do.
when it boiled down to it, I did it because that's what I wanted to
I
do.
wanted to do. Mhm.
Now, at this stage in my life, I mean, I've been poly, I've been monogamous. I might be monogamous again.
He's definitely falling over to he like me. The last weeks have his perspective on a lot has changed.
But when it boiled down to me, I think me and my wife got to a point where if I did feel some type of way, I know that I can come to her and talk to her.
Mhm.
Hey, I kind of like this person right here. Woo, 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 woo. And
you've never done it. He's never done it.
And we just get talk about it. Even though at the moment I might feel some type of way about that other person, but after telling her that and me and her having our conversation, I don't know. I probably like shit. No, that's too much trouble because the shit is trouble. The shit it just it be, how can I put this?
It's overwhelming. You already got to wipe this hair, then you go get another woman.
Yeah, it'll be beyond that.
You know, that's so sad.
Because
it is. You know where we are on our journey. It's kind of like we exhausted with it.
Because a person could be, man, right now, honestly, right now, I'm good.
I don't know. And I understand that. I'm just saying, like, it's sad because, you know, we live in a culture that's like, you know, men can't really be what they what they are, right? To open the culture that is like, okay, well, yeah, you can go and, you know, do what you do. Only to have women, it's like, y'all ain't even worth it.
Only to have a man to be like, and we had this conversation. I don't know if Mika's still on here because we've been here for a good little while now. This got in there.
Yeah, my battery's gonna die.
Yeah, we've been going to get off here, but we was telling, I was like, baby, you sure you want to get this up? And he was like, man, shit. Like, basically, the approach is his approach to poly is my approach to cheating. I know what I got. I don't know what the fuck I'm getting, and I ain't got time. And that's his thing with poly, kind of like, shit, baby, to be honest, no. I'm like, you sure? I'm feel like the man, like, you sure you want to get this up? Man, you sure you want to get this up?
To be honest, it's just like meeting somebody different and then trying to cultivate a relationship with them, going through all type of different hoops and stuff, it get exhausting.
It's almost like cheating is more beneficial. Cheating is easier.
You know what? That's a whole topic.
And I do get it. I do get it from the man who says shit, fuck the apology shit. I'm gonna go and cheat sneak. Because you don't owe them no expectation. You don't owe them nothing. And it's easier just to keep on moving with them. And I get it.
Then people mind frame really,
they're not ready.
Yeah. Now, when we decided to be poly, I dived into the everything, the benefits and everything, but the cons outweighing the pros at this moment. Like when it was good, it was good, but when it's bad, it's hell. So I'm good where I'm at right now. My thing changed, and me and Jess talked about it. It is what it is at this point. I'm good with what I got. I got 15 females and one right now. I got Jessica, I got Jessie, I got Jess, I got Jessie May, I got Billie Holiday, I got Billie No Holiday, I got it. I got Textual Dope. Shit, I got everybody.
You got the date night coming for. But I was sitting up here like, bro, you sure you want to give up this lifestyle?
She had me thinking about the shit. I'm like, damn, do I want to get this up?
Because I can't believe I'm like, boy, there ain't no way. But I get it. It's the journey in itself, and we're so content and so peaceful.
Yeah.
We don't want to add it.
Well, I'm just, and then adding different people to your life is exhausting when it's not working.
Mm-hmm. See, that's why I say you need NDAs and contracts. I'm just calling it that.
Like,
I nobody got time for this.
Like, man, you vet this person for so long, and then it don't work out. So you gotta go relearn somebody else and bring them around your family.
Mm-hmm.
They keep on doing the same shit. The shit get played out after a while. So,
Well,
but in actuality, cheating is not good. Don't cheat.
especially married to a crazy woman, ain't
Shit, I'm still buying my clothes from last time when I wasn't cheating.
it? When he don't cheat, it's way worse. I read motherfucker cheat because clown me, I'm gonna show my hand. But we're past the bleaching shit.
Somewhat.
I ain't bleached in 2
And
years.
everybody got guns in the house, so that's another story.
We good.
Be it like
Mr. and Mrs. Smith. But I have really enjoyed this conversation. So I know I had told my sister, I was like, we only gonna be on live
An hour and
an hour and a half at the most. With this conversation really got in depth because we've been on here 2.5 hours, but it is what it is. We're gonna have days like this. Me and Zoe gonna pre-record.
The first topic was an hour.
It was. I done got home. I gotta go eat. I'm gonna eat some warm up this goddamn dressing. But
It's very.
I will say I really appreciate you, Zoe, for coming on. As always, y'all, we're gonna pre-record our next show because this is December, and I still want to deliver, but we don't want people talking back at our ass. This is the next go around because we're gonna deep dive. We're gonna deep dive into some shit that's gonna kind of get crazy. And we don't feel like you can argue with that goddamn computer screen in the comments. You write whatever you want to write in the comments.
ain't nobody gonna reach you.
Because I probably want, if it's some bullshit, I ain't gonna pay attention no way. Whereas here, we pay attention to everything. And thank you guys for tuning in. We know we've been on here all night. We really
right
appreciate
there,
you guys for tuning in. It got a little depth, got a little crazy, got to peer into deep into the Wheatley relationship, but but not deep, not well pussy deep, but deep, you know.
So thank y'all for tuning in to Just Talk Jess. Again, we'll hit y'all back another time. So peace.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night. You love that radio voice.